Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune in to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
Alright, welcome in. It is the Woodward Sports Network. Woodward Sports. Listen, boys.
What up?
It's a big day. Hump day. Woodward Nights. Let's have a night, baby.
Let's go.
My name is Booner, joined as always with Matthew Broder, Detroit Lions beat reporter.
Hey.
We've got Jalen back in the studio off of the IR. He was on the IR for a few days, but he is back. He was like, who's on the IR right now for the Lions?
A handful of people.
Yeah, he was on the IR with a lot of Detroit Lions players, and Nick in the sound booth as always holding it down.
Let's go, boys! One day closer. Let's go.
You guys want to know something real quick before the show? He did tell us. You know where Flannel Sam started? In the sound booth. And look at him right now. He's sitting in the sound booth with the flannel on. He said he's coming for Flannel's job.
That's just a lie, but I love the energy. Let's go.
I love it. No, I'm just kidding. We've got a packed show for you guys today. Appreciate you guys all tuning in. If you guys haven't already, make sure you hit that like button. Tell a friend right now to tune into the show if you haven't. Go to your phone right now, text the link to 3 or 4 people, and get them in the show right now because we have a huge show. We were gonna have Gentry on for Red Wings. There's been some miscommunications and things going on with that, so we will not have Michael Gentry on today. Maybe Friday or next week, Gentry will be joining the show.
Maybe.
But we're moving everything up, and we're going full Detroit Lions until the end of the show here. Broder was in Allen Park all day long.
Right.
Getting clips for the people.
And we do have the Astros 1-1 tie with the Minnesota Twins on the screen right now. Just saw the sweetest swinging lefty in baseball get a nice little single.
Yep.
Jordan Alvarez. Also shout out to the Fab Five.
First of all, when we did our predictions for the World Series, I put that bet on the Phillies to win the World Series.
Did you really?
Yeah, I told the people. I was like, the Phillies, I'm putting the bet on. I'm picking one side Phillies, the other side, who was it that I put the other side? The Orioles?
Yeah, Orioles lost.
Orioles lost, done. Phillies have to ride with them the rest of the time. And Bryce Harper today, 2 bombs. The one was huge. Jalen, I know Jalen's a Phillies guy right now, so he's over there just geeking out.
Ring the bell!
I love that. and right now, I hope. So really what happens, if you guys want to explain this to me real quick,
maybe,
is the Braves, everyone in here told me that the Braves were the best team ever in baseball.
Never said best team ever.
One of the best teams of all time.
Definitely the best team in baseball this year. Without
I just was telling that. I was, you know what, I'm just going to stick with the Phillies, Broder.
Jesus. You made a good pick.
I did. Thank you.
This series isn't over though, right?
No, it's 2-1 after today if they finish this off. So, and they have another game at home, so I'm excited for it.
Yeah, so is Cam Sutton.
They better. Oh, yeah, Cam Sutton
Big Braves fan.
Yes.
Big Braves fan.
Well, he's not excited for the game that happened today then.
Yeah, no, but that's what's fun about baseball. There's another game. We got one more to go. One more.
Well, we have a big rundown here. I'll go over it real quick. At 8:15, we're going to go over the injury report. Bro, there's a lot of things I feel like kind of going around and guys still on the injury report that we feel like should have been off already. 8:30, we are going to talk about the Detroit Lions, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We're going to go through a first look of the game here, break a little bit of it down. 8:45, Detroit Lions. There's been some player interviews. Broder was in the locker room today and actually got a ton of, I think, some good content for the people. And really, we're the first show to show it all. So we just stay around. 8:45, we're going to do that. Exclusive on Woodward Nights. Yes. Do that one voice that you always do.
Exclusive on Woodward Nights.
Yes, there we go. No stash, so it's not creepy.
It's coming back though. It's almost back.
It ain't back like this. Come on now.
No, not like you.
Can we see Nick's stash?
Did you freshly shave today?
Oh yeah. Let's go.
Daddy.
Let's go.
It's me, Mario.
9 o'clock, though, we're going to go over Brad Holmes. Brad Holmes is on NFL Network today and talked a little bit about the trade deadline. Spoke on that with those guys there. So we're going to talk a little bit about that at 9:15 or 9 o'clock. 9:15, go around the NFL. NFL head coaches' hot seats.
Ooh.
Coaches' hot seats. And then after that, 9:30, I think we're going to stay around the NFL a little bit. Maybe we'll go over like some quarterback hot seats, a couple trending things in the NFL. 9:40, we're going to talk about the Red Wings, the Detroit Pistons, and then 9:50, mailbag. But Broder, How are we feeling today? How was Allen Park today?
I'm feeling great, especially after seeing this comment from Yang Bang, also a fantastic name. It says, Booner and Broder portion of the podcast is top tier. I stay watching their clips on repeat to learn more about the team. I appreciate that. Thanks for tapping in tonight, Yang Bang. But I feel good. Allen Park, the more I'm down there, the more I see the confidence come out of them in a subtle way. Like, it's not arrogant. It's not we're gonna walk past. We're gonna walk by this next team. There's just it's as if the win against the Panthers never happened. It's just they're focused. They're ready to go. Got some guys coming back. Got hopefully some guys coming back. Hopefully more than they shared with us, but at least some big players coming back. So I don't know. It feels good down there. The guys seem focused.
That's what we've talked about it a lot. I feel like over the last few weeks since that Seahawks game, that these guys kind of have turned the tide on each week. Next game. We don't care if we won, lost, whatever it is, and they just keep turning it. And that's when we do some of these clips today, and we have the Dan Campbell press conference, Brad Holmes clips, player clips in the locker room. When you guys watch these clips, you're going to notice that these guys are locked in on Tampa Bay. They don't even care that they just dominated the Panthers. They're completely moved on. They're ready to kind of go 5-1. Brad Holmes even mentioned it in the thing today, in the show that he was on today, and he was like, you know what, we don't even care about 2 or 3 weeks, because they kept asking him about different things, and he was like, I see what you guys are trying to do here. And he was like, no, we're just focused 1 week at a time. We don't care about anything else. And that was alluding to, we're going to talk about it at 9, but the trade deadline and stuff, he was like, we're on to Tampa. We don't really care about that right now.
Got it. I'm excited to see that or hear about it. I don't know if we have the clip, but we're going to talk about it. And I haven't. It'll be a new reaction for me. So I've heard some things, some trade talk. We'll see what you guys think.
I love it. All right, let's start it off here, Broder. I've got some trending topics here. Start us off. Jim Harbaugh. Do you remember? Me and you are Michigan guys.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember the Ryan Day speech a few weeks ago? Lou Holtz, where are you at? And then he just went off.
Yeah.
Jim Harbaugh had a completely different post-game interview, and he basically, instead of saying, Lou Holtz, where you at? Or Ryan Day, where you at? He went out there and went, where are my players at? I want my players to have the spotlight for this one. Jalen, if you want to throw that up there real quick. This is cool.
Yeah, they all played really good, especially, we got a couple guys right here. I mean, our defense was incredible, 2 pick sixes. Will Johnson, come on here, Will. Get here. And Keon Sabb. The other guy got a pick 6. What did that feel like?
It felt good. Got my first pick 6. It just felt good to be out there.
Yeah, what'd you see on that play?
My tight end blocked. I just stayed in the window, and then it just came straight to me.
Brother, that's what I'm talking about. That's what a real coach looks like.
The other guy with the pick 6. He just seems so comfortable.
He does, yeah. And the thing is, like, there's just this night and day difference to me of the guy that was on third base and got a job and took over that program to a guy like Jim Harbaugh who's dominated and came in and turned this program all the way around. Night and day difference to me. Am I wrong?
No.
That interview to Ryan Day's interview, completely different.
And you think of all this stuff. Yes, the Michigan's got a good football team, but all the stuff surrounding the program the last 2 years, even when they've been good, there's just been question marks. There have been weird things that have happened, and he seemed as calm. He missed the first 3 games. He seems as calm, cool, and collected as I've seen him in Ann Arbor. Took him a couple of years to get going, but now he's got his recruiting classes coming in. He's got his team built, and now he just keeps funneling through the transfer portal, this new type of recruiting style. I don't know if he's in it for the long term. I know there's contract talks, but he's doing what needs to be done to win and just keeps retooling. It's good to see. I mean, the schedule sucks. It's not exciting games, but it's good to see them
you can only play with
who
you have, like who they give you, right? And I know they do make the schedule, so they made that a couple years back. But it just feels different for Harbaugh. I don't know why this year. I think more. I don't know if he's more of a player. He's always been kind of a player's coach, but even on the pick 6, I don't know if you saw the video of him. Like usually they do the group picture of the
he's
pick
in
6,
it,
and he's just in it like this. He's just in the front like.
And he got clowned for it too. I'm like, what are you?
It's awesome.
I know, it's great. Like, whatever. He's having fun with his team. That's everything you want to see in a coach. That means he's having fun. They're all having fun. That gives me hope for the playoffs.
You would never see. It does. It makes me feel like that they have a lock, like a good. He has a good feel of this team, and they're playing behind him, and like that's what a national championship team does.
Yes, very different than Dan Campbell and the Lions, just in terms of how it's made up and how they interact, but a similar like relationship with the players in terms of how they interact with each other. It's great. fantastic.
I'm going to skip this hockey one right now, but did you see I don't have the video of Kirk Cousins, but I don't know if anyone in here saw the reporter ask Kirk Cousins about the trade deadline.
I didn't.
And
Tell
they
me
asked
about
him,
it.
they basically just asked Kirk Cousins, hey, are you willing to waive your trade clause with this trade deadline coming up? And he wasn't like super, super mad, but he basically was just like, listen, I'm not going to answer that question. I'm focused on the next game. Like this, none of that matters to me. Like I don't care about it. It was a little bit of like a pushback.
So like a little. Did he show some energy? Like I'm picturing a very Kirk response, just like giving nothing. But was
a little bit more than like Kirk
sass?
is just like straight faced. Yep. There was more like, listen, I'm not talking about this right. Like I'm not talking about this here. We're not doing this. I don't know. Did anyone else in the room see that interview? Or am I the only one?
I was on the IR. I didn't.
I was on the IR.
But you know how Ben
Justin
Johnson.
Jefferson.
You know how Ben Johnson answered the question about being recruited by Carolina, interviewing with them last year.
Shut it down.
He shut it down, but it was very calm, simple. Like, hey, I'm gonna wait and talk about it till the off season. Kirk's was a little more aggressive, a little more like, okay. There's trouble in Minnesota, dude.
There is. I said it yesterday. Justin Jefferson on the IR. He's sitting there. Doesn't have a contract extension yet. He might not come back this year.
What I say? They traded Stephon Diggs before they had to pay him.
Now they have
for Justin Jefferson.
Jordan Addison, yeah.
And if they want Caleb Williams was throwing to Jordan Addison last year.
Broder, got to give you props on that one. You called that early in the season, maybe the first week before the season started, about the Minnesota Vikings possibly tanking, and now it's all coming to fruition for you. It's like, wow, Broder, you got the inside scoop on this stuff.
Oh, it's like he's the beat reporter.
Whoa.
All right. All right.
You're right.
I saw the away fan in there say, Booner, don't skip hockey. So, I don't know, did you guys watch the Vegas game last night at all? The beginning?
I did.
Did you see the banner raising that they did?
Yeah.
To where they had a huge setup of a slot machine, and they went up, and I think it was the captain or someone went up there, pulled it, and then they had the banner come out of the slot machine.
Do we have a video of it?
It's so crazy what they've done like the last 6 years, dude. It's crazy.
I didn't put a video. I should have done a video. Maybe on the next break, or one of these breaks I will. In our last segment, we can play it. Because
I heard Maz talking about it or describing it just like you.
Dude, it was insane.
It sounds cool.
The video was like they had music. It was awesome. Like maybe we can't because of the music. Actually, that's a great point. But it was. I just wanted to see if you guys knew that. Next kind of trending thing. Can you throw up the Justin Fields graphic real quick?
Yeah, sure.
This will get the chat going a little bit. This might get the people going. Get us warmed up for some talks here. Look at this, fellas. The Bears, they feel a little confident right now in Justin Fields after the last two games. It says, report, the Bears believe that quarterback Justin Fields has seen the field and maybe better than he ever has over the past 2 games. The team believes that when Fields' footwork is clean, it guides his eyes and good things happen. And it says his last 2 games, 8 touchdowns, 1 interception. I'm over this, man.
Well, what else are you going to say after 2 games? You walk away with those stats. Over it. He better be seeing the ball well with those 2 stats. He better be getting the ball to DJ Moore to then run after the catch.
That's what the thing is with this. If you watch those games, DJ Moore is basically almost wide open. It feels like, and he's the one getting open. He's getting open, and then DJ Moore isn't just catching it and getting. He's making plays.
Yeah.
So those stats are a little skewed because he has DJ Moore right now.
Yeah, my aim isn't to slander Justin Fields. It's did you say it was from the coaches or reports? Like
from reports.
Yeah.
It looks like Jay Fowler, ESPN.
There's one thing you're trying to pull out of the Bears season. If you're a coach or someone in that organization, you're going to look at the last 2 games and try to build off that. Like, that's what they got to say. It doesn't mean like he's gotten that much better. I will say, the Bears suck, but I fear Justin Fields a little bit. Like,
on the ground,
you never know.
A lot because he can really. Remember last year?
Yeah. They're not a good team, but you never know what they can put together on a Sunday.
Lorena said, Booner, bottom line, what is the Bears' record? Exactly. Coach Walk, yawn. I'm with you. Yawn, Justin Fields. Next thing, I had 2 more things here, bro, I wanted to show you. Don't know if you saw it yet.
Yawn.
Aiden Hutchinson, PFF Player of the Week. If you want to throw that up there, Jalen, these stats that he's been putting up is insane. It's not the NFL Player of the Week, obviously, but just the PFF Player of the Week.
I'll take it.
It's something different, man. He's been on another level. I think it's well deserved that he gets some sort of love, right? He deserves this for sure. It says 25% pass rush win, 1 sack, 8 quarterback hurries, and 1 interception.
starting to get some of that national love too. Like people are starting to talk about him for real, and that's the funny thing about stats, about these award PFF or being in the top 4 of whatever of the odds to win defensive player of the year. What that does is it puts a little national media on it. It's like, wait, Aiden Hutchinson, what's he doing in Detroit? I see they're doing good. Oh wait, Aiden Hutchinson's playing great. All this, it kind of funnels all together. It just brings more people to the Detroit Lions, puts more eyes on this team down in Allen Park.
Yeah, shout out to PFF for that award, though.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's getting eyes on us a little bit. And as you keep winning, more eyes keep coming.
Yes.
That's what I like. But when we come back, we're going to talk about some injury reports. We're going to go over the report that came out today, Broder, that you had for the injury report. We're going to go over some different news here with that. But let me tell you guys about Lady Jane's real quick. Because, listen, Lady Jane's is the best spot to come to. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the award-winning haircut experience. Register to win a trip of your dreams. All expenses paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament. That is right. No expenses spared for you, 5 of your best buds, even me, Broder, whoever you want to come. You can just ask us. We'll come with you for sure. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Right above there, it's wicked awesome.
Also, I have to tell you about what happens when you have a great business. There we go. For over 50 years, you expand and you offer more products to more people. That's exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC. It's the same great service that customers have come to know and trust. They're on Woodward, just south of 9 Mile. They also have, you want you to check Les Stanford out in Dearborn. I think it's the original. Check them out today. Find the brand you want at lesstanford.com.
Calling all landscapers. This is Darren McCarty. I'm at Outdoor Equipment Co. How would you like to landscape like a legend? How about a bad boy zero turn? And even a chainsaw. And even a weed whipper. So register today at OutdoorEquipCo.com, and even you could have DMAC on your landscaping crew.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions Show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White & Associates, you can cancel at any time, for any reason, without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
Join Woodward Sports and Long Drink live a couple Mondays from now, Monday Night Football, October 30th. It's at Eastern Market in Shed 5, and it's going to be a bash. It is the official Lions tailgate. It's back and better than ever. It's going to be starting at 5 p.m. The doors open at 5 p.m. because it's an 8:15 p.m. game. So how would you like to come pregame it with the Woodward Sports team and be treated like a VIP? We got food, beverages, entertainment, all included. Get your tickets today at bullseyeeventgroup.com.
All right, welcome back to Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. My name is Booner. Joined as always Broder. Jalen and Nick in the TD booth. I'm trying to figure out a good way to go around the room, a quicker way. So we, you know what I mean?
I like what you do, but I'm always trying to innovate, always trying to find new ways to entertain, I should say.
If the people like it, I'll keep doing it. I'm trying, you know, what's the word I'm looking for here? I'm trying to
govern?
Creativity.
Brainstorm.
Yeah, just spice it up a bit, Spice it up. I want to see what the people want. I'm a man of the people. Booner's a man of the people. Just want to cook it up as Jalen's doing over there. But we're going to get into the injury report. If you guys haven't yet, hit that like button for us. Tell a friend about the show. Share the show. Let people know about Woodward Nights. Please. We have the best coverage, I feel like, here because we have the Detroit Lions beat reporter on the show.
Hey, that's me.
We have the man.
I'm saving my clips. We're making them exclusive Woodward Nights, too.
So you guys have to come here to watch.
In the night
Post a couple on my Twitter and then keep them for Woodward Nights.
Woodward Nights. Yeah. They can have them tomorrow. Everyone else can have them tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
But we'll bring them to you guys the day of here, though. But let's get into it then, Broder. Injury report came out. a little shocking because I feel like, and we talked about it yesterday a little bit, I feel like we were hoping that guys like Brian Branch, Amon-Ra, Jahmyr Gibbs would kind of at least be off of it, or if not, just limited practice, and that wasn't the case.
Not exactly.
Some guys were out of practice still. Some Amon-Ra back at practice, I believe it was limited. Though,
yeah, he was out there. I saw him running around at the beginning of practice. He looks good. I think they were probably just not pushing him. Again, we only get to see the first 10, 15 minutes of practice. When they're done with stretching, they start doing some drills. But he looked pretty active in the warm-up lines. They're going through stretching and whatnot, but they're doing high knees and stuff where you see their body moving a little bit more. Yeah. He looked okay. And that's not a medical perspective. That's just my eyes.
He is not a doctor.
Yeah.
Confirmed.
I'm a doctor
remember that
of love.
comment we had a couple weeks ago, or like a couple days ago? Actually, no, it wasn't. What? It wasn't on our show. It was on the pregame show. There was someone who commented, and I texted you about it right after to see if there was more information. But the guy put in there, I can't remember who it was. He might be in here now. Oh. But he basically was like, "There's a he was like, my sources are telling me that Amon-Ra St. Brown actually has a really bad hernia, and they're hoping that he can get through, but he is actually going to need surgery."
I don't remember.
And they were like just spamming the chat with it, and it was like that's. Just
I do remember somebody did something like that in the first week, and now we played some noise. We're like, something's happening. Last time we do that before check-in.
Well, that on the pregame show, the guy just kept putting that. Me and Jeff called him out and was like, "If we have,"
that's why you texted me.
That's why I texted you, because I was like, "If we don't have report, like I do a show with you."
Yeah, bro.
You're probably the first. Like, text me and say I'm on the pregame show. And like, hey, this is happening.
But I got you.
So, yeah, it was just kind of wild. So, it seems like he's fine.
Yeah, so
no surgery, no nothing. He is fine.
Yeah, and it's what it seemed like from the start, that something happened in the Falcons game, and he's got something nagging in his abdomen. And it's a tough spot. Like, part of your core, it's connected to your back, your abs, your glute. There's a lot touching your abdomen, so we don't know exactly what it is, but it didn't seem like anything that was serious enough to keep him out for an extended period of time. My guess, again, if it wasn't the Panthers last week, if they were playing the Bucks even, or maybe a little stronger team, Amon-Ra St. Brown would have played. I did see Brian Branch out on the field. He wasn't practicing. He was over on the side working with the trainer, going through some stretching, going through some different drills to rehab his ankle. So my guess is he would be back on Sunday.
Yeah.
I didn't see Gibbs at all, though. I didn't see Jonah Jackson at all.
That one is Jonah Jackson. And I wanted to mention Jonah Jackson today. I know we're doing an injury report. Jonah Jackson doesn't get much love. Jonah Jackson, I just wanted to say, I thought about that driving in this morning. I was like, I just want to say Jonah Jackson's name on air today.
Yeah.
Because he does not get the love that he deserves.
That's why I try to sneak him in our all-pro conversations.
Fair enough. Because I thought of that. I was like, Penei Sewell, Frank Ragnow, all these guys get love.
Yeah.
Taylor Decker, Jonah Jackson, nothing.
And Jonah Jackson's going to be the next one of them to get paid.
Yes, he will.
And it could be a pretty hefty contract.
So here's the practice report here for today on Wednesday, October 11th. Brian Branch, no practice, ankle injury. Jahmyr Gibbs, hamstring, no practice. Jonah Jackson, looks like it's ankle, no practice. Zonovan Knight, we saw him get hurt in the game, the shoulder, no practice. James Mitchell, no practice. Obviously, Mosley, I'm sure they're going to put him on the IR, and he'll be off this in a little bit.
Yeah.
Taylor Decker, limited practice still. I feel like that's fair with the ankle. Just keep healing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. My guess is it's just a rest day, even though they didn't say it like they do for Frank Ragnow.
Yeah.
I guess it's just it was a pretty bad ankle injury, so any chance they have to just give him a day off, they're going to give it to him.
Yeah,
they're not worried about him.
He's on that Frank Ragnow kind of thing the rest of the season, it feels like.
And that's the benefit of having these guys who've played together before. They're veteran offensive linemen. You don't have to worry about the communication or being ready to go mentally, physically for the game, just medically.
I like this one here.
Yeah.
Your guy, kind of the special teams specialist.
Yeah.
Khalil Dorsey is back at practice day, full practice.
Yes, through the bang, he's back.
That is exciting to see. I'm waiting to see what's his name on it, man? Josh Pascal, or just see him limited or something.
Yeah, but the more we talk to Dan Campbell, I think everybody saw in his press conference, Josh Pascal, he's closer than maybe we thought when he first got hurt. Thought he was going to be out for an extended period of time. Looks like he might be back. I don't know if they try to rush him back with the record as it stands right now. Do they rush him back before the bye week? Like even if he could be ready for that Monday night football game?
After Monday night?
Yeah, so it'll be 3 more games. Tampa, Baltimore, Raiders. Raiders is the Monday night. Then you have a bye week.
Yeah.
Also, we'll talk about it later within that bye week, is the trade deadline. Nice little bonus for the Lions there. And then after they got the Chargers. So maybe it's depending on how these next 2 games go. If the Lions lose 2, do they bring him back, maybe not early, but bring him back for that Monday night game to try to make sure they get that win against the Raiders? Who knows?
So this is actually a great question. Big V's fully back.
Yeah.
Full practice.
Yeah.
He's not even on the report. So
he could have played this weekend. He's one of the. That's why these thoughts are in my head now. Like, he could have played. So they're being strategic about when they're bringing these guys back.
That's
like
good to hear.
They thought something about the Panthers enough where, all right, let's not start Big V. If we need him eventually, maybe he could go in, but he doesn't need to. So let's hold him off. Let him get healthy.
That's actually really good to hear. You know what, too? I heard today on E&E. I don't know if you turned into Ermanni and Edwards today with Maz. Dan Miller was on. And he kind of spoke about, they asked him a question about what the depth means for this team with injuries. And now guys are starting to get back to practice that were out. And he even mentioned, too, there are some position groups to where you have that injury kind of that window. Not window, but that cushion to where if a guy goes down, like a Tracy Walker. He brought that example up. Tracy Walker, he was a former captain, former leader on this Lions team before he got hurt. And you bring him back, and like CJ goes down, you have that piece. That's your backup.
Yes.
So he was just kind of talking about and bringing up different position groups around this team have that type of backups. And I think that's where I'm at with this, is if these guys start getting healthy that we see on the report now, it's going to be a scary football team. And that kind of leads me to this is yesterday we did our power rankings, the 5th best team in the NFL. I think we both agreed on that. Or I had them at 4, you had them at 5. I do believe once you get these guys start coming back, you saw what they did to Carolina without majority of these starters. Those guys get back. This is a really scary football team. Very, very scary football team.
That was the tough part after the Seahawks game week 2 when most of the injuries happened. We saw they were 2 big names. They were 2 contributors, guys who we expected to keep playing, and then to go on this run after that. It makes me optimistic for the rest of the season. You know, as we talk about the trade deadline, going after edges, cornerbacks, wide receivers, James Houston might be back later on this year. I'm hopeful that he's back.
If it's a late playoff.
Exactly. So it's like, do you go get that edge rusher? Do you think James Houston could be that guy when he comes back?
How you feel about Josh Pascal coming back?
So I think I feel good about him coming back. I don't know when it's going to be. They say he's closer than maybe we thought. He's close to coming back. Like, I think that was exactly what Dan Campbell said. So now I think the decision comes, when do they bring him back? Do they bring him back before the bye week, or do they give him that extra time off and bring him back healthy for the Chargers and the rest of the season? It's to be determined. With the way the rush defense is playing, maybe they do hold him back. I don't know. Maybe they want to bring him back for that Lamar Jackson game with Baltimore.
That's a big question that everybody been worried about the last week. So good insight on that for sure.
Yes.
With Khalil Dorsey coming back,
yes,
is that someone? And I know they brought in that veteran already for the practice squad. Is he someone? Obviously, he's a huge special teams player, and we saw week 1 in Kansas City. He was like very, very effective.
He was a difference maker.
He was huge on special teams. Is that a guy? And I don't really remember seeing him. We saw him a little bit in preseason at corner. Is that a guy that can kind of take that? If they do need someone, because Mosley obviously not coming back, is he someone who can actually fill that a role in if you need it?
I think his role is more on special teams, and I think he's going to stay there. I don't know if they are 100% sold on him as being a number 2 cornerback or being a guy you can rely on consistently as a cornerback. Maybe not yet. He's very talented. He's very athletic. His value right now is on kick coverage and on kick return. He was a guy who was slated to be their top kick returner. And I know this is a crazy comp, but C.J. Gardner-Johnson said this in the locker room before he got hurt. When he was giving out nicknames that day, he was just talking about all these different players, and he said he compared Khalil Dorsey to Devin Hester. I was like, wow.
I remember that.
Wow. So there's some parts of his game that we haven't seen yet. He's fast. He's smart. He's a good dude.
Last question here real quick before we go to break. And when we go to break, I'll go back to back here with these pregame. But Coach Walk has asked a couple times here already, Broder. What part of what did Pascal injure? What was the injury?
Was it his ankle? Oh no, it was a groin injury.
That was
a groin. That was why
thinking.
it was worrisome, because he had. Was it a back injury coming out of Kentucky or knee? He's had some injury history. So when you hear groin and not ankle, knee, not that a knee injury is good, but groin is one of those things you worry about. Hernias. Maybe he had a hernia at Kentucky. I can't remember. Don't quote me on any of this.
I don't know actually here because I'm seeing here. Unfortunately, Pascal would suffer a knee injury, so I'm not. I think it was knee.
Maybe it was groin out of Kentucky. I might be messing this up.
I think you're right now because I'm seeing groin here. I think it was groin earlier in his last season, and then I think it was knee coming in here to this one.
My apologies.
So it's knee, Coach Walk. I believe it's the knee. But let me tell you guys, I'm going to go pregame here first. I'm going to tell you guys about the pregame show, which I will be on this Sunday with Jeff Iafredi. It is the Woodward Sports Line pregame show. Returns for another season of Lions football, hosted by the one, the only Hollywood. He will be here. I believe it's going to end up being the same time this Sunday. I think we might go in the morning. From what I talked to him yesterday on the phone, that was kind of what I took out of it, but we will confirm that time for you guys later this week.
Hey,
I will be on there. We will have different special guests every single week on the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. And then Big Boy! Let me tell you guys about a beautiful burger, chicken sandwich. Look at those two things up there. I wish I had that right now. You know what we're going to do sometime? We're going to order Big Boy straight to the studio, some burgers one night. Yeah. Jalen said, yep. He said he wants a pretzel cheeseburger. No. That's what he wants. So try over the new best cheeseburger or the new pretzel bacon cheeseburger. Try the Dolly chicken sandwich or turn up the heat with the Bob's Hot chicken sandwich. If you want some fries, upgrade them. Chili cheese fries, loaded baked potatoes fries, and then when you're done, try some dessert, the Reese's chocolate peanut butter thunder cake or the funnel cake fries. Those are the best there. So over at Big Boy.
Big Boy.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel. Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
Downtown's newest sports bar, 5 Iron Golf, has 13 TrackMan simulators, certified instructors, and a full bar and restaurant. The leagues are back, and you have a chance to compete nationwide for a trip to the Dominican Republic. So bring a foursome or sign up as an individual to be placed on a team at 5irongolf.com, and you can use Woodward 10 for 30% off the league. That is 5irongolf.com.
All right, welcome back to Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. I am Booner, joined with Matthew Broder, Detroit Lions beat reporter, Jalen in the TD booth, Nick in the sound booth. Make sure you guys, if you haven't already, smack that like button for us.
Smack it.
Hit that like button like Aiden Hutchinson hits quarterbacks. Hit it right now, please, for us. Thank you. Appreciate
in week
you guys.
3 through 5.
Yes, not weeks 1 and 2.
Good pressures, though.
Yeah. I mean, we don't want you to just pressure the like button. We want you to really hit the like button.
Yeah, hit it.
Sack the like button. All right, the bat's really freaking me out, though.
Yeah,
I feel like you're about
point.
to come swing at me.
Yeah. Watch yourself.
Broder's dangerous with a bat in his hand.
Dude, since you
Do I hit
shaved
lefty or
the
do I hit
stash,
righty?
dude, you've changed, man.
What can I say?
It's freaky. I do love that
Gotta
shirt
keep
you're
the
rocking,
people off
though.
balance. It's
The
like
Fab
a pitcher.
Five.
Yeah.
Shout out.
One of the most influential basketball teams of all time.
I had a good conversation with Jalen Rose at that golf outing. Really awesome.
Come on. Are you named after Jalen Rose? Isn't everybody?
I'm like for me though, like I'm 100% serious, dude.
Well, he was the first ever named Jalen named,
And
right?
then like kind of just sprouted out, but I
Yeah.
have a Y on my name though. This is just J-A-L-E-N.
J-A-L-E-N,
but like,
yeah.
that's where I got it from though.
Why?
Oh.
My mom, hey, I don't know. But they're cool.
I was
They
waiting
went
for
to
that
school-
one. I
don't
knew that
know.
was coming. I'm getting used to
They
you,
went to school
brother.
together. They went to Michigan. So like,
There's definitely a connection.
I hope maybe it's a bigger connection. Who knows?
Daddy?
No.
What?
Whoa, bro! You know what? Hey,
Timeout. Broder's in the 2-minute chat.
Mute his mic for 5 seconds.
That was beautiful, bro.
Thank you.
That's a muted mic there.
Thank you.
But we're gonna get into here. We're gonna kind of go over the very first preview of the Detroit Lions versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Kind of break that down a little bit. Just want to get a feel. One, I want to get a feel for how the chat and the kind of listeners are feeling for this game. Because it feels like every week we go, oh, is this a must-win? Is this a trap game? There's always like it's either or. It feels like.
I feel like after this last game, things just changed a little. Like the mentality or the necessity.
Confidence.
It's confidence, but it's also like if the Lions lose, like the season's not over there, and we still think they're a good team. I don't know. There's just this weird sense of confidence, and it doesn't feel like it's not a must-win.
No, not a must-win.
To it.
I think it's fair. We've been actually saying this. I feel like every show has been saying this for 2 weeks. Was that this Tampa game is the trap game of the trap games of trap games?
Yeah, trap or die.
It's the trap bowl. That's what we're playing here on Sunday. So it's a trap bowl. It's a good football team that's 3-1. Baker Mayfield obviously kind of revitalized his career in Tampa, and he's got some weapons. They've got a defense as always. So that's I mean, is it a trap game, Broder? Like I feel like it is.
Yeah, well, I think it's not a trap game anymore because I don't think anyone's taking them lightly. Like before the season, I thought the Bucs were going to be one of the bottom 3 or 4 teams in the league, and they are playing well. Like they have I think a 3-1 record. They were on bye last week, but they are actually a good team. I don't know if they're going to stay this good, stay with this far above 500, but they're a good football team. They're well coached. They're balanced on both sides of the line of scrimmage. They got a good offensive line and they got a good defense.
I mean, that team won a Super Bowl 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
The only difference, I mean, obviously they've lost a couple pieces, but they just have a different quarterback, which is a big piece, right?
It is.
But like that defense, a lot of those guys were on that Super Bowl winning team. Like, they have pieces from that Super Bowl defense, which was an elite defense at the end of the day. So
100%.
It's a good team. Andrew Jones in here. I don't know if you read that.
Yeah. Former Brave great.
Yeah. So Andrew Jones, you just changed my mind for the week. He just changed my mind. No longer a trap game.
Oh, he says it's not a trap game. Andrew Jones in the chat. It's not a trap game if they are 3-1. It will be a tough game.
It's a tough football. You're playing a good football team, and a lot of people might not want to admit that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are actually a good football team, but they are.
How about this? Jeff Olson, who is a Bucs fan and is enjoying that we're actually giving them some of their respect. He says it's not a trap game. It's a playoff preview.
Jeff Olson. 8 starters from that defense are still on this roster. On that Tampa roster.
Wow.
That is a Super Bowl winning roster. Like that is a Super Bowl defense. Do you know you guys see what I'm saying here? This is a real football team. They just swapped out Tom Brady for Baker Mayfield, so maybe the offense isn't.
Devin White's still there.
Yeah, they still have dudes.
I think
Vita Vea.
I think Winfield's still there, right? Winfield's still there.
I believe so.
Davis.
Levante David.
That team's still stacked, dude.
Dog.
And you know who's making his debut? Although technically, I think his debut was the opening game. He played a couple of snaps. But
who is it?
Kalijah Kancey.
Yes, Kalijah Kancey.
Kalijah. He was a guy I wanted to see the Lions, or I was looking forward to seeing them maybe take him at 18. And I know Morning Show, Baydoun, a lot of people like Kalijah Kancey pegged to Detroit.
Yeah, and speaking of that defensive line with Vita Vea, I think that's going to be the biggest point of emphasis for this Lions team is can you rush the ball against this loaded defensive front of Tampa Bay? If we can control the line of scrimmage on that side of the ball, I think we're going to have no issue in this game. But if we have a tough time running the football, we might be in some trouble in Tampa.
Yeah. So their rushing defense is 10th in the NFL. I'm looking at it right here.
Yeah, but how about this, John
94
Magaroon?
yards a game.
Doc just says Swift had 130 against the Bucs. He's calling for 150 out of Montgomery.
Ooh, I like that.
They're vulnerable.
Can we get 2 tutties out of him too?
Ooh, 2 tutties out of Montgomery.
I had that bet last week, and he ended up not getting it. And it was like every single time they're at the goal line. There was just so many different things. It was like he went on the goal line, they gave it to him on the outside, got stopped, and I think maybe Jared Goff ran it in. And then the next time they brought in Craig Reynolds, and it was just like it was a mess.
Yeah, dude, and this one's for you, Booner. One of the things that the Bucs are best at, turnovers. Both on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive. I believe they're 5th on both sides of the ball. They're 5th in only 3 giveaways on the season. That says a lot about the maturity of Baker Mayfield.
I was just going to say, I believe the turnover battle here, or the difference here, I believe And I'm going to pull it up here. I believe the Bucs have one of the best in the NFL. Yes, a +7 turnover differential so far this season. And that's why that team is 3-1 right now. Yeah. That's why last week my main key for the win, to beat the Panthers and to keep the Panthers out of the game and blow them out, was the only way the Carolina Panthers could be in the game is if you turn the ball over. And you won that turnover battle 3-0. So if you go into Tampa Bay, especially on the road, and you win the turnover battle on the road, that's it, Broder.
That's it.
That's the win.
Yeah.
Go win the turnover battle. Get 2 takeaways. Take care of the ball on offense. Don't give away a takeaway. 0. What is it?
0.0.
What he said. So
that
yeah,
not a drop.
I saw that stat this morning that they were leading the league in turnover differential with the 49ers at 7.
Yeah, it's great. And Dan Campbell talked not a lot, but he brought him up specifically in his press conference, Levante David, and how for the entirety of his career he's been a takeaway machine.
Yep.
He's a linebacker, but it's similar. I think about him kind of similarly as Janoris Jenkins, who we talked about yesterday. Just one of those guys. He's a good linebacker, but he is great at going and getting the ball from the offense. They're definitely not one to take lightly.
Trying to see here. Oh, here's another one too. Oh, what has actually? That one did trip me out a little bit. What was the one thing we always talked about on third down a couple weeks ago about how your offense has to convert on third downs?
I know where you're going with this.
The Tampa Bay defense, they are ranked 29th in third down efficiency. Or percentage defense.
Like best or good?
I think it's worst. I believe.
Hey, you might be right.
Are you looking at the same thing as me right now?
No, I had a stat.
Are we looking at the same chart here, Broder?
I marked down a stat that says Tampa Bay's third down offense percentage, 47.4%.
in the NFL at 47.
Yes, so on defense you might be right.
Comparison here, yeah. On defense, they're the 29th ranked team in the NFL on third down.
Hey.
So that is something, and that's something on third down is when you win. That's how I look at it a lot in football. Is if you can get first downs on that third down instead of having to punt, you're taking away those punts. Shout out Jack Fox, best in the NFL.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's the game. It's like turnovers, third downs, get off the field.
Big game for Josh Reynolds.
Oh, I hope so.
Ooh boy.
I hope he gets 1,000 this year.
Speaking of wide receivers, Mike Evans, although he didn't practice today on the injury report, Mike Evans is still out. But he is looking to make his return this weekend. It's getting more and more likely that he sees the field. I don't know how many snaps. I don't know how healthy he is. But Mike Evans, is it like a little dress rehearsal for a trade? I'm not in that trade boat, although I wouldn't say no if they did it or be pissed. Is he auditioning? We're going
to talk about trade. You know what? I just thought of this. I'm going to write this down.
Think of it.
We're going to talk about trades because Brad Holmes talked about it today. I want to propose a trade to you.
Choo-choo.
I'm going to write this down real quick.
And I know you guys posed the question if this was a must-win game. I think we're all in agreement that it is not. The Bucs are a really good team, especially going to Tampa Bay. But this has huge playoff implications for the future, and specifically the 1 seed or the 2 seed for the Detroit Lions. Yeah. Getting that home field advantage. These are the games that those great teams win. So that is the most must-win for me. I mean, for the future of the Detroit Lions in the playoffs.
Very well said.
Yeah, I think really in a must-win kind of scenario, I do think, to Broder's point, is every game going forward, because you said you can get 14 wins out of this.
Yeah, there's just a ceiling.
A ceiling. Yes, a ceiling. My bad.
Let's be clear, that is the ceiling.
But with that, it's at that point every game when you're going for a seeding, every game going forward when you're a top 2, top 3 team in the NFC, every single game is for seeding.
100%.
Every game.
100%. I don't think they're going to take this lightly. They respect that coaching staff in Tampa. They respect the team, but they definitely respect the coaching staff. There's a lot of overlap in terms of the Lions coaches having played with, coached with various members of the Tampa Bay Bucs coaching staff. Like I believe Todd Bowles was the DB coach or the cornerbacks coach for the New York Jets when Aaron Glenn was with the New York Jets. So there's a lot of overlap. A lot of understanding and respect for the other side. So I actually expect it to be a really good game.
Yeah,
which is part of the scary part, but I think it's going to be good football. I think if the NFL made a good decision flexing this game, it's going to be one that everyone's going to want to watch.
Dude, I'm pretty sure one of the biggest rivalries in that division is the Saints-Bucks. Mm-hmm. And Dan Campbell and Aaron Glenn both came from the Saints.
Right.
So they coached against the Bucs. They're very familiar with playing there on the road. They're very, very familiar with that because that was one of their biggest games of the year every single year. Well, actually twice a year. So they're used to this Tampa Bay Bucs team. I think that they have a good idea. When Dan kind of spoke today in the press conference, he opened it up. You were there.
Uh-huh.
breaking down a little bit about what this Bucks team's about, he knew. Obviously, he's a head coach in the NFL, but it just seemed like he's like, "Yep, I know everything about this Bucks team."
Yeah. They've been preparing.
Yeah.
Even Scotty Montgomery got up, unrelated, but he got up. He was the next press conference to go. He talked about, it's the middle of the week. Like, I've slept 3 hours. Like, I don't even know half of what's going on. But we're preparing so hard for this Tampa Bay Bucks team, which is why it was even more awesome to see him out in the first drill. And I do have a video we'll show later. In the very first drill, he's doing everything he can to give the running backs a good test, to try to. They're working on their ball security, and Scotty Montgomery was out there just doing everything he could to punch that ball out of their hand, and he got one from Devin Ozigbo, but he was going at it. Scotty Montgomery brings so much energy. I love that guy.
He does. Yeah, that video you had there, we should open up the next segment with it.
I think we should.
Tell us about Dispo, though.
Tell us about Dispo.
We'll hit that, and then we'll show that video.
You want to hit that? You want me to hit that Dispo?
That Dispo, baby.
You want to experience Dispo Romeo? That team that curates exclusive atmosphere? They are the first ever cannabis mall of its kind. They're conveniently located off Van Dyke Road and 32 Mile Road in Romeo. But guess what? They're open late night. Dispo Romeo is open until midnight every day but Sunday. Can it get any better than that? I don't think so. They are Dispo Dispensary, DispoShops.com. They are your local plug.
Gabby is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Hey, this is Mr. Kearney, Chief Academic Officer at Academy Warren. I want to welcome you to the brand new Field House. The state-of-the-art facility has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, soccer field. It can be used for 7-on-7 football. Our K-8 academic features AM, PM, latchkey, small classroom sizes, learning street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Houghton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics, and more. Enroll today at academywarren.net.
How would you like to win a 100K Vegas getaway? Take your friends and live it up in the city that never sleeps. It's the Syntron Energy. Drink it and live it. Purchase a 24-pack today and enter to win. Register at drinksyntron.com/Vegas and buy Syntron at your local Meijer store. That's Syntron, the healthier energy drink with great taste. You can look good, feel good, and be the best version of yourself with Syntron. That's drinksyntron.com/Vegas. Dude, how jacked up does that get you?
I like Scotty Montgomery, man. Hey, I love all of the coaches in this Detroit Lions team. Dan Campbell's done a good job building staffs the last couple of years, I feel like. That's one thing he's been very lead at for 2 years, in my opinion. And knowing when guys aren't good and, all of that. But welcome back to Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. Make sure you guys, if you haven't already, hit that like button for us. Share the stream real quick. We're about to head into the second hour here of the show. We're going to go a little bit more Detroit Lions here. We're going to talk. Matthew Broder was in the locker room today getting some player interviews, so we have some exclusive footage of that.
Getting some treatment.
Yes.
No, that's a joke.
Some like some massage, ice bath, all that
the
stuff.
media treatment. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Can you guys go in there and do that? Can you guys use the ice baths in there?
No. They're amazing to us down there. They got a fridge with some drinks and some granola bars and stuff.
What drinks do they have? Anything good?
No, waters, pops. They take care. Of course, I haven't been in many other media rooms, but the PR staff of the Detroit Lions are unreal. They're awesome.
Shout out to them. But let's get into it then, Broder. I see here you have a few things. I had a few things from the Dan Campbell press conference. What do you want to start with here? Do you want to do locker room or Dan Campbell first?
Let's start with Dan Campbell if you got him ready. I think that'll paint the overall picture, and then we'll dig in because some of these players, some of the clips I have, they're talking about specific things.
Yep.
So hit me.
So the first one we have here is we just obviously talked about Tampa Bay. And the main player, I think, we obviously said they had this whole defense back. They have a ton of players still from that Super Bowl team. Who's the one player we keep talking about is Baker Mayfield. Dan Campbell had some things to say about Baker here. And Jalen, do we have that video of Baker or the very first Dan Campbell one?
Yeah, the stream froze.
I think we're going in and out.
No,
here.
it's all good. It was Braylon on Ermanni and Edwards a few months ago, or it was when he went down to see the New York Jets practice, and just let me know when you're ready. But he went down to see the New York Jets practice when they were had a joint practice with the Bucs, and he got a few minutes to talk to Mike Evans, and without saying it directly, he was like, "Dude, like it's bad." And we were seeing those clips of him and Kyle Trask like throwing the ball over everyone's heads in training camp. Like they were the team that everyone was talking about what they can do to go get Caleb Williams or Drake May.
Yeah, and Baker, I mean, he's not a scrub. And Dan Campbell, and we have the video here. Dan Campbell talks about it a little bit about how you should not overlook Baker.
Look, I just think, honestly, number one, I think what they're asking him to do in the scheme really suits him well. They're making a true commitment to the run. There's a lot of boots that are involved, play action pass, and when you're playing good defense too, man, that's right in his wheelhouse. He's very competitive like he's always been, and he's finding ways to make plays if it's not there. He's able to move in the pocket, eyes downfield, finds a throw. He breaks contain, and then look when he's not going down now. He's not taking a knee. He's looking to run somebody over. So he is a competitive sucker, man. So they're doing it right. They're playing it right, and
that is exactly what your coach should be doing. Like when you have a guy like Baker, where there's people who overlook a quarterback like Baker, and they have for a few years now. Dan Campbell, we're keeping our heads level here, and we're just level-headed going into this. We know what Baker can do. Let's not allow a guy like Baker to make those. You said it before the show. Is Baker can make those? He can make those extra plays. He'll keep a play alive, and the fact that he just has Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, that changes a lot. That changes everything. The fact that he has those guys, and if he just keeps a play alive for 3 more seconds, Baker can make a play happen. And that's what Dan Campbell, and I'm sure that's what they're going into this week kind of feeling like is, hey, let's respect him and we'll be just fine.
Yeah, he's one of those guys who can improvise and make things happen. I mean, I don't know if have you ever been to the Jazz Club Baker's down in Detroit?
I have not.
It's actually amazing. Have you been there? You have. It's amazing. It just popped in my head. We were talking about Baker, but he can improvise. He's one of those who, when things break down, he makes things happen, and that's sometimes where he actually plays the best. So this is where I'm excited to see what Aiden Hutchinson, Charles Harris, John Kaminsky, those guys do, both rushing to get to Baker, but also containing him, not letting your gaps, not expanding your gaps too wide where he can sneak through and get out and make throws on the run.
Do you know what one big thing, too, and I'm going to lead into the second video here with Dan Campbell, is the biggest thing with this Detroit Lions team is, Broder, and you're in Allen Park, so you can feel kind of the maturity of this team. It's a young football team. The Detroit Lions are still young. A lot of young pieces that still need to get signed, and they're still just recently drafted the last 2 or 3 years. But Dan Campbell talked about it today, is like how well this team right now, with like example, the Baker thing, how well this team locks in every single week. When it's time to lock in, they lock in. They're extremely mature, a young, very mature group of guys. And Dan Campbell talked about it here, about how this team is been able to kind of just lock in when that time comes and be one of those teams like a 49ers team who might be more experienced, but if you're young and you can lock in, you're on that level. Here's Dan Campbell talking about the maturity of this football team.
Nice.
Yeah, well, I just think, we're still, look, when you have a young team like we do that you feel like is handling its business, that means they can have a good time, but when it's time to lock in, they lock in. And so there's an energy about it, but yet there's a focus. And so I just think that, man, when it's time to go, our guys lock in and they go. And when it's time to focus, we go. When we say that we're going full speed, we go full speed. When it's time to back off, it's mental focus. They're there. So I think they understand. They understand what it means to handle their business, and I think
that's it, Broder.
That's it, Booner.
They understand. They understand. These guys understand. You're in the locker room every day. You're out. You're in there. What is it? Are these guys actually like that? Are they're locking in? Especially these young guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And you'll see. Although some of the clips I have aren't the most detailed football talk. They did a lot of that in the videos that I got with Jared Goff, with Frank Ragnow. They're talking about the things that Tampa Bay does well, the things that they don't, the things that they need to exploit. So those will probably be cut up and put out on the main Woodward Sports Network Twitter tomorrow. But they know what they're doing. Like, they are prepared already, and it's Wednesday. Now it's just about going out these next couple days and working on their execution of this game plan. And I do have to. I know we just semi-shifted to the Lions, but Jeff Olson had a great comment. Again, this is Jeff. I don't know if he's from Tampa Bay, but he's a Buccaneers fan. He said, "We knew this new offense fit Mayfield well based on what he did with the Rams last year. It's the similar system, but much better weapons in Tampa, much better offensive line, much better defense." So they did have a little more belief in Tampa than maybe we did around the country.
Yeah, and like, just real quick, back to the point with Dan here and kind of these players and that attitude they have. You see all the time. Like an example, I'm trying to think of a big example of a team that has young guys. They probably have a young core just like us, and you see their team kind of down a little bit, and the Lions are sitting up here in the top 3 in the NFC. And I think it is that mentality. Mm-hmm. It's that Dan Campbell's kind of created that within the building. And same with Brad Holmes. Like, they've created kind of a mentality to where it's, hey, lock in, be mature. When it's time to work, we're going to work. And what does it always come back to? It always comes back to Brad Holmes, and we're going to talk about Brad in a little bit, but he always talks about, we want to get the right guys in the building, in the room. We don't care how talented you are. We don't care if you're not that talented. But if you're the right guy and you have this mentality, that's a winning mentality. Mm-hmm. That's why teams like San Francisco is consistently winning, is because they have guys who come to work every day. Yeah. They can bring new guys in there, and they're bringing the right guys in. Same thing with Kansas City. Andy Reid, he had the success in Philly. When you're around a guy like Andy Reid, you have to be great and you have to be locked in. And if you're not, off the team, you're gone. We've seen great players go to places like Kansas City and Philly when he was there, and they ended up not working out because you just don't have that mindset, that winning, that mentality where you have to lock in when it's time to lock in.
I can't stop thinking while you were saying that. I can't stop thinking about Jerry Jacobs and Will Harris. Like, those are two guys that got so much ridicule, and whether it was just or not, they got trapped. Like I don't think how far it went was just, but they're the type of guys with those winning mentalities, with that competitive edge. They're two different types of guys, two different personalities, but they're guys that this coaching staff, this front office believe in. They believe that they're an ingredient that makes up a winning team.
Like Jerry Jacobs, undrafted.
Yeah.
And he came in, he's starting. He's our cornerback too. And he's out there making the last 2 weeks, we've won games because of him.
Yeah.
So it's that mentality that it doesn't matter. And these guys, they come to and get locked in.
100%.
And then you're at the practices where you see, like Dan talked about it, when you're 100% locked in and you're half locked in, it doesn't matter what it is. But we need you locked in when that time comes. Last video here real quick, fellas. This is kind of a little off from that. But we've had these conversations with Jahmyr Gibbs about Jahmyr Gibbs. Why isn't he getting the usage? All of that. Dan Campbell talked about it. Someone asked Dan Campbell, did you bring in David Montgomery to be that bell cow back? Did you know you were going to be giving him 20 to 30 carries a week? And guess what? Dan Campbell, yes, we knew that. We knew what we were doing. Everyone else might be surprised that Jahmyr Gibbs, you took him 12th overall, and he's not getting all of those carries. Dan Campbell talked about it right here, that he knew, and they knew what they were getting. It's just like the Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram thing, just like David Montgomery said. Here's Dan Campbell talking about that exact thing.
Yes, we did. I mean, that was the reason for that. We always, to me, that type of guy is always going to be he carries the load. And the other one is the changeup. He's going to get plenty of touches. That doesn't mean those are carries, though. That could be in the pass game. That could be gadgets. That could be, but to me, you always want a guy who, man, he can, if you need it, he can take on 20, 25, 30 carries.
How How about 32 carries, Dan?
32 carries. And I just love how they kind of knew what they were doing with that. And a lot of people, we were all shocked. I think every single person can say, like, why isn't Jahmyr Gibbs getting the touches? They knew what they were doing, and they kind of knew the game plan. Ben Johnson did, and it has worked out with that. Yeah, and Peaceful Tim said Gibbs is hurt. I don't know if that was to someone else's comment in there. But, yeah, with Gibbs hurt, obviously it changes it. But even then, you're still, like, David Montgomery's still your bell cow guy.
Yes.
He's still your guy. He's going to get all of the carries.
Yes.
Jahmyr Gibbs is going to get a handful of carries, but he's also going to be in there for the pass game and set big plays up. He's that big play guy.
And that's what Scotty Montgomery said in the very next press conference. Again, I don't know if they've posted online yet, but he's talking about how he feels comfortable where Jahmyr Gibbs is right now. He feels like he's right where he belongs right now. They're and this is aside from the injury, just in terms of the snaps that he's been getting, where they see his development progressing. They like where he's at. I do believe that they think there's more in him. They're going to get him there. They have the benefit of having David Montgomery and being able to do this.
One of my favorite things every week is just watching Dan Campbell press conferences. It's the best.
I love that there's so many.
Like 3 or 4 weeks ago, I said on the show, the Lindell White, Reggie Bush situation, it's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
D-Mont's getting 30 carries a game. Lindell White was pushing the load at USC. Reggie Bush came in, push it real good, D-Mont, stuff like that. And now Gibbs is, not as Reggie Bush-esque, but he's filling the role. He's knowing his role. He's getting open. He's doing his thing. Then, come week 12, we can give, D-Mont 20 carries and have Jahmyr Gibbs combined 100 yards all-purpose, doing his thing, out in the open and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to that down the line, I
truly believe like that scenario is it because like
I love it.
In New Orleans, was Dan over there when Alvin Kamara was a rookie?
Yes.
So he kind of, I'm sure that he has the same mindset with that. Is Alvin Kamara started slow that rookie year, and then he ended up winning Rookie of the Year, and they worked him in, and Ingram was getting the carry. So I truly think it's as much as people probably are like we're tired of hearing that scenario. No, I truly think that's like Dan Campbell's looking at it like that.
Yeah,
because he was in New Orleans.
I want to say Bill Parcells might have done something similar with Curtis Martin at the beginning of his career. Was it Ezekiel? Not
Curtis Martin, the legend.
Yeah, but when he was with the Jets, I don't know. But we're going to come back. We're going to show the locker room videos during the next segment. But Booner first, tell them if you want to be a regular, if you want to be a townie.
Yes. And before I do this, if you guys want to see some Jared Goff stuff, he was in the locker room. We've got some videos for you, I think.
Yeah.
I believe Jared Goff. But the Hamlin Pub, make sure you guys go check it out. If you ever wanted a bar where you are a regular, we have just a place for you. Head over to one of Hamlin Pub's 7 locations and experience where you are a regular. Everyone's a regular at Hamlin Pub. Whether you're enjoying half-off pizza tomorrow on Thursdays for the NFL Thursday Night Football game or game day specials available during all Michigan sports and NFL games, Hamlin Pub is the place. Visit a location today and experience your new favorite pub for all things sports.
All things.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com. Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot off the press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Do you have football on the brain? Fall ushers in college and professional football, and this fall is going to be awesome. It's also the perfect time to shop for your home and auto insurance, so shop it like a pro at Swiss Insurance. They cover Woodward Sports Network, and they should be covering you too. So ask for Mark at Swiss Insurance today at swissins.com or call 248-800-4177.
Swiss cheese.
We're going to make that defense look like on Sunday.
We are. 100%. Vita Vea. Is it Vita Vea or Vita Vea? Vita Vea. All right, let's go. Welcome back to Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. My name is Booner, joined by Matthew Broder, Jalen in the TD booth, Nick in the sound booth. Make sure, if you haven't already, let's hit that like button. Maybe if we hit that 200 like we talked about yesterday, I'll do, what is that dance called? The Funky Chicken?
Ooh.
We'll hit the Funky Terry Foster Chicken. Shout out T-Foss, man. Legend.
Also, best thing I saw this weekend, I think I texted it to you guys. Do you watch that Chad Smith drumming to 30 Seconds of Mars? It's like a blind improvised reaction.
So good.
After this show, everyone needs to go check it out. Chad Smith, drummer for the Red Hot Chili Peppers, is from Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. He's from the area, so might as well shout him out. I've been a little bit addicted to watching this video. It's incredible.
I watched that video. I saw it on TikTok a couple weeks back, and then you sent it, and I was like, oh, dude, I literally just saw that on TikTok. And then while I've been at work, I've been watching these drumming videos, because growing up, I've always wanted to be a drummer.
Yes.
Like I tried out for the percussion, denied. They're like, oh no, you can go play the trumpet.
Well, that's what everyone in elementary school, everyone wanted to do percussion.
You had to be like, I don't know,
It's
like a
the
cool
easiest,
kid to
dude.
do it though.
No, it was the coolest thing though. It wasn't easy.
And the easiest, yeah.
I would have loved to
play
do
the
it.
cymbals.
I had a drum set at my house growing up, so I could play the drums a little. Like I wasn't a scrub at it. I watched YouTube videos and tried it, so I was like, I thought I could make it, and they denied me.
My younger brother is a sick drummer. He's good.
Really?
He's in a emo band, Emotional. He was intense.
Is that what emo means?
Yeah, it's
dude. Oh my gosh, man. I'm not that smart, guys. I found out a couple months back what VIP stood for, so I didn't know it was very.
What?
I just thought it was just VIP, like you're like VIP.
All right,
I never
Broder.
actually heard the writing out of it. Has anyone ever seen someone actually write out very important person?
Football.
Never. I'm like the water boy. Football.
Do you know what MVP stands for?
Most valuable player.
Okay.
But I just never thought VIP had a meaning. I just thought it was like, dude, you're a VIP.
I mean, it kind of makes sense though when you read it out though.
Yeah, it does. Very important. It makes so much sense. I just never like put two and two together. It's just some things like that, like emo band. I didn't know emo meant emotional.
I can understand that.
What? Never.
Even though it's short, it's the first syllable.
Never.
Or first two syllables.
I'm just not that smart. I just don't put things together like that together. My brain just doesn't go to that next level like some people's. No. I don't have that next level. All right, let's talk about it here, fellas. We got off track a little bit. Detroit Lions. Broder was in the locker room today talking to some players. I believe it was, I know for sure, Jared Goff, correct?
Yes, I got three videos, Jared Goff and Frank Ragnow.
Love it. I love it.
Let's start with Jared Goff because he's the quarterback. That's my quarterback. Jared Goff, he had a long, we can talk more about his interview, about his press conference, his media session in the locker room, but the clip I have for you, he's talking about David Montgomery, and this just seemed, there's been a lot of talk about David Montgomery these last couple of weeks, and it's just David Montgomery has been such a key addition to this team, and you can just see the confidence that Jared Goff has in this player. Jalen, if you could run it like Chris Brown.
He's a stud. He's fit in just perfectly with us and does such a great job every day. And then obviously you guys see him on game day, the stuff he does, but his leadership, his ability both in the run and the pass, his attention to detail and protection, I think is pretty special for a running back. Not all running backs typically care about that. They want the ball, they want to run. He's very adamant on making sure I'm protected and making sure he's doing his responsibility, which is nice to have a guy like back there like that, and it makes me feel good. So he's been doing his thing, and hopefully continue to do it.
Bro, this takes me back to David Montgomery's first press conference when he became a Lion. He just talks about, if Jared Goff needs a cup of water, I'll get it for him. If you need me to play special teams or do what, it was one of my favorite, opening press conferences of all time. You can see Jared Goff's not just saying that to talk nice about a teammate to the media. He actually feels that stuff, and it's actually showing up on the field. Not just his running ability, not just his skill running the ball, but all the other things he's doing. His knack for protecting him in the pass game. Like it's such a great addition, such a nice piece that Brad Holmes and team went out and got.
Great teammate.
Yeah,
they wouldn't have brought him in if that what he just said wasn't the case.
Right.
That's where I keep going back to the same thing, and I'm sure in here, Doc's in here. He said, "Dang, that reporter is like 6'6".
Yeah,
your camera is all the way up here. You can see other reporters are down here. That's funny.
That bird's eye view. I don't like standing in front of people. Like I feel. I know it's kind of a dog eat dog world, but I am taller, so standing in the back, I have a little bit of an extension on my.
It's probably great for you to be able to see.
Yeah.
With that too, though, is the kind of what pops into my head first with it is obviously David Montgomery has that mindset with Jared Goff and that. Do you know what that really does for this team, though?
What?
Is Jahmyr Gibbs is a rookie. Being able to kind of learn from that and see that every day, how he blocks, different things that he does. That's huge for especially a 12th overall pick. Usually a 12th overall pick like Bijan. I know he has Tyler Algier. Tyler Algier was a rookie last year. You know, like guys like typically who are top 15, top 20 picks or a top 10 pick, those guys typically are going into a not a great situation because those teams and franchises are losing. Jahmyr Gibbs is going right into a winning franchise and a guy like David Montgomery who he's learning from. And I think that's a huge advantage for, like, if we really want to look at it and crush the Jahmyr Gibbs stuff, Jahmyr Gibbs is learning a lot right now behind a great veteran.
And remember the first video we saw? Scotty Montgomery.
Yes.
Dude, he's a former NFL wide receiver.
It's a great running back room.
Great running back room. But to talk more about sort of the unsung heroes, the guys that do the dirty work for this team, Frank Ragnow's talking about John Kaminsky. He was actually wearing a Kamish t-shirt, and he just talked about how underrated John Kaminsky is. And I just love this quote. I love this little segment. There's a cameo from one of your favorite offensive linemen as well. Jalen, if you could play that, if you could run it like Chris Brown, there, I fit it in that time. Fit in, pause.
What's the offense feeling like, offensive line, when Craig Reynolds is in there at the end? Were you aware that he hadn't scored a touchdown yet? And what's that feel like once he got in the end zone?
Wasn't aware, but it was pretty dang cool. I honestly didn't know until later, but just any one of those running backs, they're going to tote that thing, and we as an offensive lineman kind of have the same approach no matter what the game.
Okay, so that wasn't the video I described. That wasn't John Kaminsky, but that was a question I asked him. I wanted to hear the feeling that the offensive line got if they knew about Craig Reynolds' situation. Like, he never scored a touchdown in his career yet. He was trying to go off the field, and they were keeping him on. Scotty Montgomery talked about that in his press conference, and he just gave one of those answers. Like, we respect that entire running back room. It wasn't like any extra special moment for them because he didn't realize it ahead, but they block hard for all those guys, and they love Craig Reynolds, and you could see talking to the other guys. Yep. They have so much respect for that man.
Just that whole offensive line. I love this offensive line. I saw today in PFF. I believe they're the second-ranked offensive line in the NFL right now, which we already knew that there was the Eagles and then them. But just knowing that relationship that they have with that running back room and seeing a video like that, Broder, that you got of him talking about, we didn't know, but just after the fact, knowing that and just being able to, they every single play, they don't take a play off, and they have that. I'll throw it back to you here for this Kaminsky video, because he was wearing a John Kaminsky shirt.
He was. He's down with the OPP. You know me, John Macaroon. I see you. If you could, Jalen, the John Kaminsky video.
I don't know what that means.
Hey, we'll keep it a little secret.
He gave me a t-shirt, so he's worthy. I think John Kaminsky's extremely underrated. I think he sets up a lot of things for our defensive line that a lot of people don't notice. And also, when he's one-on-one with the guy, he can win a lot of reps. So I think he's super, super underrated for what we do on defense.
Hey, Panay. No, you could just
Panay Sewell, man.
He's a huge man. Just hearing Frank Ragnow talk, someone on the offensive end who goes against Kaminsky every day in practice, they got so much respect for them. I'm glad I heard out of someone's mouth there, and I know they all feel it, but him to just say underrated, like use that word, like very, very underrated. I forget the exact quote, but I love that stuff.
Do you remember last week what Dan Campbell in the press conference said about him as well?
Remind me.
Someone in the room asked him about John Kaminsky, and he said, "Listen, that's the glue that makes. He's the one that makes everything happen on that defense."
Yeah.
And people don't realize it, but he is the glue, and he is the guy on that defense that really keeps that motor rolling. And whether it was the first 2 weeks where he wasn't putting a ton of numbers up, or even now he's not the stats aren't really there, but you see him and you notice him, and I'm sure offenses feel him. Yes. The fact that someone on offense like Frank Ragnow is out there supporting him, and they realize a guy on the other side of the ball. That's how I look at it. The other side of the ball realizes how big of a factor John Kaminsky is.
Quite possibly an all-pro center.
Yeah, all-pro. Hey, and then John Kaminsky's an all-pro DN, the Broder.
But last thing I want to add, a little off script, but Kalamazoo just asked me a great question. He asked, Broder, I would love to hear any kind of status on Hendon Hooker and Alex Anzalone with his parents in Israel.
I want it.
There wasn't. Sorry, I just slipped my mind. Oh, I don't have anything on Hendon Hooker. I'll continue to just caught me off guard. I'll continue to do some digging. But Alex Anzalone, although I don't have much of an update either, Dan Campbell spoke a little bit about this, and it's a horrible situation out in Israel. As all they know right now, including Alex Anzalone, his parents are safe. They're in a safe place, but are figuring out how to get out of Israel. And I don't know if they want to keep it quiet. I'm a little uncomfortable bringing more attention to it just with media, and I don't want to put any more eyes on them, so I'm going to kind of avoid it, but it is something we all got to keep them in our thoughts and prayers. It's a horrible situation, and Alex Anzalone, he had a great game on Sunday with all of that on his mind. I can't imagine what he must be going through.
Yeah, just same as you said. I'm not going to, even Dan Campbell was, hey, we're not going to go into that, but prayers to him, Sam, and hopefully everything turns out okay.
So when we come back, are we going around the NFL, or are we talking Brad Holmes?
Let's talk Brad Holmes when we come back.
Cool. So come on back. We got more football for you. We're talking Brad Holmes. We're going to get through around the NFL a little bit later on in the show. But I appreciate you guys for all being here. We'll actually, I was just about to go to break. We got some reads.
I'm going to tell you guys about Planet Fitness. Let me tell you guys about
right now.
How I get jacked. I get absolutely yoked. You guys see Penei Sewell there? Yeah, Penei Sewell probably goes to Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness is the home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and we mean anyone, even Penei Sewell, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you will experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, a full body workout in just 30 minutes, and all memberships include training. You get all of that for just $1 down and $10 a month. Yes! $1 down and $10 a month through October 13th. You get that deal. Make sure you guys go check it out, where your fitness is essential.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, 2 of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
Burgers and chicken sandwiches are taking over at Big Boy. Try our new pretzel bacon cheeseburger. Turn up the heat with Bob's Hot Chicken Sandwich. Upgrade those regular fries with our chili cheese fries or loaded baked potato fries. Hit your sweet tooth with funnel cake fries or Reese's chocolate peanut butter thunder cake. Load up on all your favorites today at Big Boy.
When it comes to your pet, don't settle. Give your pet the best, and that means going to Premier Pet Supply. They're hands down Michigan's best pet store. They're family owned and operated for 30 years. They got like 13 Metro Detroit locations, over 60 brands of food, the lowest prices in curbside home delivery. Premier Pet Supply. Give your pet the best. www.premierpetsupply.com.
www. Welcome back to Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. My name is Booner, joined by the one, the only, the former Michigan Wolverine, Matt Broder. Jalen in the TD booth, Nick in the sound booth. Appreciate you guys all tuning in. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Smash it for us. Let's get over 100 by the time this segment's over. Stick around though. We're talking some Lions here, and Brad Holmes actually today went on NFL Network and talked about the trade deadline. So that's what we're going to talk about a little bit more. I know yesterday we spoke about the trade deadline, Broder. We pulled a couple names out. I know shows today spoke about it a little bit more, but Brad Holmes went out there and he kind of gave a little bit of a spiel on, I'm thinking how I should word this, about when the trade deadline does come, are they prepared? And basically he came out and said, hey, every situation we're prepared and we're going to bring the guys in that we need. I feel like Broder's about to hit me right now. I'm going to start bringing security in.
That's what I'm here for.
Okay, so you're our security. Okay. Yeah. The way you're looking at me, dude, it looks like you're about to
battle.
I feel like my head's a baseball.
Yeah, it looks like it. Got the red seams. That's a dope hat, by the
way. Thank you. Came into the mail when I got home last night at midnight. It was sitting on the counter in a box.
What do they call that? With
fire.
What type of hat?
A little rope hat.
Rope hat. That's right.
Action.
Yeah.
I try to get so many different Detroit Lions hats because the Kool-Aid videos I've been doing, like half of the comments are, hey, Booner, you're going to get diabetes. Stop drinking so much Kool-Aid. And then the other half are, Booner, why are you wearing a Pistons hat? Well, actually, that's 33, and then the last 33 is, man, this dude's annoying, screaming, and this dude needs braces.
Are you still gonna slander the Pistons wearing that hat?
I've never slandered the Pistons.
Do you still think they can contend with playing? Contend with playing?
Playing, yes. That's 40. That's 40. You contend at 40 wins.
All right, let's go. Football.
I've said no playoffs this year, but playing game is very possible.
I like
playing
it. There we go.
Not the playoffs. Though.
Now we're rolling. Pistons coming soon.
We do have Pistons at 9:40 here though for you guys. A little bit of it. But Broder, what is your kind of takeaway though here? Because this Brad Holmes situation with the trade deadline and Jalen, if we can, whenever you're ready, let me know when you have that up. The video of him on the NFL Network today, and kind of basically just came out and said, hey, we're going to be prepared. We're ready to go. Whatever comes our way, but we're going to get our guys if we need it. Here's Brad Holmes talking about the trade deadline.
Obviously, you look forward and there's different situations. Your roster's different at different points of the year. Unfortunately, there's attrition that comes in this league that you have to prepare for. So maybe it's depth, down the road. Maybe you might need a guy to come in and be a major contributor. So you just got to be prepared for all of that. So again, like you said, there's still time to go, but we'll be prepared for all scenarios.
That right there is one of the best GMs in football right now. Brad Holmes is one of the best GMs in football right now. Thanks. If I had to trust anyone at this trade deadline, when you're sitting there as a contender now in the NFL and you're a top 3 team in the NFC, Brad Holmes is what guy that I trust to be able to say, hey, if we need a piece to take us over the top, I'm getting you a piece to take us over the top. If you need depth, I'm going to go get you depth. And he said in that interview, whatever we need, I'm ready for it, and we're ready to go get it, Broder. That pumps me up because I know we talked about it yesterday. I feel like this team's a Super Bowl contending team because they're a top 3 team in the NFC. You can win the NFC, you can win the Super Bowl. And if you're at that point right now and you have some guys that are injured, you have a couple injuries, you go out and get someone to take you to the Super Bowl. That's where I'm at with it. I think Brad Holmes might have that similar mindset, and he's going to be ready for it if Patrick Surtain approaches and they approach him with it. He's, like he said, he'll be ready.
Yeah. I do actually believe everything he said, even though I don't believe him saying that in that clip. I mean, you could have said, if we need, he'll name off all 11 positions on the offense, 11 on the defense. We'll take them. He said both sides of it, and there's definitely some gamesmanship to those comments. But I do believe that he's prepared. They're looking at every possibility in terms of how they can improve this team, whether it is depth, whether it's adding more to that cornerback room, to the defensive line, to the offensive line, maybe receivers. It's one of those things. You can't not count Brad Holmes out, but you can't count against Brad Holmes in these situations right now. He's still young, but he's proved to himself that he covers all of his bases. And if he doesn't make any trade, we got to have faith in him. We got to support him in that. If he goes out and gets Surtain for 2 future firsts, we got to support him. He's got a plan for that. It's not just to get him for a year or two and then let him go. They're probably going to whatever he does, he has a plan.
With that too, and real quick, because I did bring up the NFC and how they're contenders. Nick in here said AFC is not our Nick, but just Nick is his name. AFC is better though. I think we need to get that out of our head. Like the AFC is better, yes. You don't play the AFC in the playoffs.
Right.
You don't have to play 2 or 3 playoff games versus AFC teams. You have one game in the Super Bowl, and in a 1-game series in the NFL, if you're a contender, any team can win that game any given night, especially if you're one of the best. Jalen, what's up?
I think for the AFC, though, they have the best cornerbacks, though, secondary stuff like that. So if we do go get PS2, like Broder said, I think we could do it, and I think if we do, we have to make him here long term. He's young. I don't want to rent PS2. You rent dudes like Mike Evans, you know what I mean? But like PS2, you don't rent dudes like him because Emmanuel's out. You don't know what's gonna happen. It's a lot of what ifs coming in the off seasons. Like off season's hard, but I don't know. I feel like we should keep
also,
him if we get him.
I've never heard that nickname.
Patrick Surtain, that is, if I'm right.
Yeah, PS2.
I used to love my
just
PS2,
clarifying
man.
there.
I used to love my PS2.
Yeah. Son of Patrick Surtain, the All-Pro.
Now he is. He's elite, and he's on a rookie deal still.
Yeah.
But I'm with you, and I heard Lucas mention that this morning too. It's like if you get him, that's a guy you resign. It depends if you want to spend that money and do that. Broder, I'm going to lead you then with this because you did say no matter what Brad Holmes does, you trust him, correct?
Yeah.
And I want that on a record. No matter what he does, you trust him.
Yes.
Earlier in the show, I said I'm going to write down a trade for you, or a scenario for a trade situation.
Door, dude.
And I want to see if you're like, hey, yeah, that's okay. Let me do that.
Yeah, let's see.
2 situations. 2 different trades. Same offer. Brad Holmes trades Jamison Williams into first-round pick.
Screw you, dude.
To either Carolina for Brian Burns or Tampa Bay for Mike Evans. Are you saying no to a Jamison Williams trade? Morning Show kind of talked about this morning on a JMO trade. And before I give it to you, I'm saying no on JMO. Keep JMO.
And
so I'll hit it to you
read me that trade one more time.
It's JMO in a first-round pick for like a Brian Burns, because you can't just give JMO up for something. You have to give a pick up. And one of them I saw online today was a first-round pick with that to Brian Burns. So you have to give up JMO in the first round next year for one of those guys. Are you doing it?
No. I'm not even considering it. I'm not even thinking for 2 seconds about it. I would think about it if we got a first-rounder in return. If we got Brian Burns and a first-rounder for JMO.
Jeez, that's impossible.
Why you're giving up JMO, still a possibly future star wide receiver, and future capital. And you know what Brad Holmes does with draft capital. He almost dropped an F-bomb there. He dominates.
Hit it. Drop it.
He dominates, but to go get Brian Burns, he's a veteran. He's good. Don't get me wrong. Brian Burns is good, but he wants another bag. And so you're getting him. You're paying draft capital, and you're going to have to pay him maybe $20 million a year. No, thank you.
That's the scenario. Maybe it's not. I saw first online. Maybe you can give up a JMO in a third. I don't think I would do it. And to your point, that's why I asked you that question before. No matter what Brad does, are you happy with it?
If he does it, I'll trust him, of course. But I don't think it's going to happen in a million years.
That would be one to where I still a little bit that I'm like, you didn't give JMO the time. You didn't give him that, and I think the morning show talked about it. You have to give him the year. You have to do that, and I don't want to trade. I want to keep JMO here for the next 4, 5, 6, 7 years, because I truly believe. And there's been people in here that have laughed at it, but I truly believe he has the highest ceiling on this team right now.
By far, it's not even close. When it comes to player on this roster,
when it comes to athleticism, speed, all that. I believe he has that. So I don't want to see him leave, and I want to see him in Detroit for his career, because I think he's a wide receiver one at some point with Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah.
And let's just clarify this. This is speculation. Brad Holmes absolutely loves Jamison Williams. He traded up all the way up from 32 to number 12 for a player who tore his ACL. He is going to have the utmost patience with this guy, and he is going to unlock this offense to a whole nother level when he finally does click. And I know we've all been saying it. We're waiting and waiting. Everybody is impatient with JMO.
The thing here with the JMO thing is the only reason I brought that up, and me and you talked about it here a little before the show, was I heard it on the morning Woodward show. That was the first time I heard that question, is would you trade JMO? I don't know where they got it. I don't know if you...
People have been talking about it.
I don't know if you've heard it somewhere else.
Yeah, it's gone on social. It's floated around. Because he's a polarizing player right now who has a ton of value. I just don't see it happening. But again, I'm the trust Brad Holmes side of it. And again, I don't think it's happening. I don't want JMO to be traded. But if he does... He's got a sample size, or he's got coaches like Antoine Randall who see something or don't see something. Like, he's got the right people around him to help him make that decision.
Yep.
He's not just going to pull that trigger to pay a veteran defensive lineman who he's got to pay again. So, what's the other one?
That was it. That was all. We're gonna go to break though. What we'll do is when we come back, we're gonna go around the NFL a little bit. I had brought some coaches to Broder. And then I'm going to see, we're going to kind of go through it, and I want the chat's involvement in this too.
Please.
Is this going to be a hot seat or not? It's either it's like hot or not, whatever that show is. We're going to go hot or not with these coaches here around the NFL.
All right.
There's a lot of coaches that are in some trouble.
Remind me, emojis in the chat. I'm just thinking to myself, hot, fire emoji for hot and cold for not.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, I like that. All right, I'm going to tell you guys about 2 quick things real quick. First, the Detroit Lions Woodward Sports post-game show, hosted by Tom Mazaway, Sam Stick Day. Make sure you guys tune in directly after Lions games for that. They'll break down the game, take callers. Nick's usually on that. Jalen's on that sometimes as well in the TD booth. Make sure you guys tune in for that on the Woodward Sports YouTube channel directly after every single game. And now, if you guys want to talk about the Lions defense from the post-game show, we're talking about Guardian Alarm That is customized solutions from real experts. Our professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. That is 24/7 professional monitoring. Call us any day or night. And know that a Guardian Alarm team member will stay on the phone as long as needed. Maybe even me. Technology that is backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that is proven to work and people who are proven to care. That is, look right there. 1-800-STAY-OUT. Stay out!
How would you like to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Calling all landscapers. This is Darren McCarty. I'm at Outdoor Equipment Co. How would you like to landscape like a legend? How about a bad boy zero turn? And even a chainsaw. And even a weed whipper. So register today at OutdoorEquipCo.com, and even you could have DMAC on your landscaping crew.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
For over 60 years, Fairway Packing has been providing Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry-aged beef. You can experience the Fairway difference for yourself today. Just visit the steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods for grab-and-go steaks, or find them online at fairwaypacking.com.
Fairwaypacking.com, baby. All right, this is Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. My name is Booner with Matthew Broder, Detroit Lions beat reporter, as always. We're going to get into it here. Make sure you guys hit that like button. How many likes are we at right now? Let's get over 100. Let's get 115 here once we get done with this segment here. We appreciate you guys tuning in. But around the NFL, hot or not, coaches on the hot seat, Broder. This is an interesting one. I have about 6 or 7 coaches who either they have 0, 1, or 2 wins in the NFL right now. I'll kind of want to have a feeling on these if these guys are on the hot seat. There's a couple to where I'm actually very, very interested. I want to see where this chat and the listeners feel about this. Let's just start really, really tough off the break here. Love that music too, Nick. Ooh. Bill Belichick, 1-4 Patriots. I'm gonna Bill Belichick on the hot seat right now.
You'll see with my response here in the chat. I'm gonna put a fire emoji. It's hot. I think his seat is heating up. I think because he's Bill Belichick, he's got a little longer string. But things are so messed up in New England. Like, he needs to relinquish some of his GM duties or something, because I think his strategies of years past they aren't working. He's not innovated enough with the new NFL. I'm really disappointed in that team. I thought Bill O'Brien coming back as the OC was going to be a huge bonus for Mac Jones in that offense. Their offense looks as bad as they did last year. They're so slow, unathletic, and they can't score. I'm really disappointed in them. I mean, I don't like the Patriots, but I thought Bill Belichick coach team is always going to be there. There's
an interesting one here. I'm trying to find the one that whoever said it. I can't remember. I don't know who said it. I can't find it. I apologize. Whoever said it, though, someone basically said, hey, no, the Patriots will never fire Bill Belichick. I think that's a guy that's going to end up stepping down. And if they are really bad this year, I wouldn't be surprised if he takes a step back.
The chat likes this one.
Yeah, they're feeling the same. They think it's hot here. So, yeah, it's interesting. I think he is on the hot seat, but whoever said that there in the comment section, I don't think they fire him. Next one here. I've got 6 more here. Mike Vrabel in Tennessee. They're 2-3 right now. It's an interesting thing because it feels like Mike Vrabel is always has his team going. They're always in these positions where they're 2-3, 4-5, and then they always end up making the playoffs. Yeah. Is Mike Vrabel ever on that hot seat?
They don't have a quarterback.
They don't.
That's why I have a hard time blaming Vrabel. I think
seen a lot of colds here. More colds than hot so far.
They're in the competitive situation at the end of the season, like because of Mike Vrabel and almost because of Mike Vrabel only.
Yeah.
I mean, they have some good players on defense.
Tyler said it best. Vrabes just never has the pieces. They haven't given him the pieces, and you know why I say actually he's not on the hot seat is the Titans owner. They just fired their GM last year.
Mm-hmm.
They fired Vrabel fired I think the OC and DC maybe. They kind of cleaned house. When that happens, that gives the head coach I think a few more years.
Yeah,
and it shows that they're trying to turn things a different direction. Stay with the head coach, whether they have a bad year or not. This year they already kind of turned the table to where new GM, new coordinators, they're on to the next.
He needs a Ben Johnson on his team, a Ben Johnson like offensive coordinator.
They do. Next one here, over in New York, and it's not Robert Saleh.
Wow,
it's Brian Daboll. They're 1-4 right now. The Giants are struggling, and they can't get anything going. Brian Daboll arguing on the sideline with Daniel Jones. I say he's on the hot seat, and I think that's a really hot seat.
Yep.
You think so?
Is Saquon going to be there next year? Is he?
Probably not.
Because if he goes, the whole franchise is going into hell.
Well, Saquon signed a contract, didn't he?
But I think it was 1 year.
It was a 1 year
deal
though. So,
but I sort of think about it the same way. Like they're not giving him the right piece. Like to sign Daniel Jones to that contract, and their entire team is injured. Like you look at their offense.
Yeah, they got Darren Waller.
He's the highest paid tight end in the league.
Don't pass the ball to him.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I'm gonna say hot though. I don't see how that one's not hot. I think when you're sitting there at 1-4 after coming off a playoff run and beating the Vikings, I think you were expected to I don't care like what pieces or what's happening there, injuries or not. It's you just went to the playoffs and you're sitting at 1-4 the next year.
I think he gets one more year. I don't think they're going to think about him firing him for this year. I think he gets one more.
If they only win, if they don't straighten up, it's gone.
Did he win Coach of the Year last year?
He did.
Yeah,
but you're 1-4. Imagine if you end up being like 3-14.
Quarterback incoming. Sorry about that.
But if you're 3-14, you're looking at that like, how did you just go from a playoff team to that?
See, I think
and
they
you
overachieved.
have the same team.
I think they overachieved last season because of Brian Daboll.
They got lucky.
Now they're playing like their roster is set. Like they're playing like they should. They did. But they're playing so bad. I get what this is a good question because they're playing so bad, but I just don't think they have a good team.
Next one here. I've got a couple more. We've only got a couple minutes. So
I'll be
I'm going to
quicker
go
with
quick.
my answers.
1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 left.
I'll be quick.
Sean Payton, 1-4 Broncos.
We'll go around. We'll go quick. Sean Payton, I think he's not on the hot. I think he's cold. He's not on the hot seat.
Jalen?
Ooh. So you said who, Sean Payton?
Yep.
Out there.
Hot seat. Nick?
You think he's on the hot seat?
I think he's cold because that contract. I mean, they just gave him a bag.
I'm going to say cold, and you want to know why? Janoris Jenkins came on E&E yesterday and talked about Sean Payton a little bit, said Sean Payton needs his guys. He went into a first-year situation. He didn't have any of the guys that he wanted. So you have to give a guy like Sean Payton, yes, it's a tough situation. You're sitting there at 1-4. You have to get – he's still he's been proven – he's a proven coach.
He's a good coach.
Let him give him a couple years, get his guys in. Then in year 2, year 3, nothing's changing. Then you move on. Next one, Kevin O'Connell, Vikings, 1-4. They're sellers right now. They're getting rid of everyone. He just came in. Is he hot or is it? I think it's more cold, and he's kind of part of the new rebuild.
I think he's on that Daboll timeline. They're going to give him one more year. Maybe they're gonna make some moves. Whether it's they're gonna get an early draft pick and then try to fill out their roster with some money if they don't re-sign Justin Jefferson. I'm not a big Kevin O'Connell fan, but I do give some of the credit to him last year for winning those one-possession games with, again, a bad roster. I just don't think the Minnesota Vikings are good. Jalen.
One more year.
One more
run and then blow it up.
Nick.
Hot seat. You know one thing, GMs like to bring their coach in with a quarterback.
That's true.
And this is what's going to happen in Minnesota. Hopefully that Ben Johnson is not the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings next year.
I don't want him on it. Nick, don't ever put that out in the air again. That's a disaster because I'm not even going to say that.
That would be trouble.
I have last 2 here. Obviously, actually, this one, I think. Oh, excuse me. I think I can answer for the whole class here.
Go ahead.
Matt Eberflus. Yep. I think we can all say his seat is extremely hot.
What do you think Adam Rank would say?
Oh no, he's cold, man. No, he's cold, man. They're still going to win 13 games.
You answered for us. That's totally fine.
Yeah, I mean, if they would have lost that game in primetime last Thursday, he would have been fired on the plane. Yeah. Last one, Frank. I don't know how to ever pronounce his last name. Frank Reich. Frank Reich over in Carolina, 0-5. Took over a bad situation, to be honest.
Again, I don't think he's on the hot seat. I think they're going to give him this year. They knew they were going to be bad. Maybe they didn't know they were going to be this bad, but they got the number 1 overall pick. Although I guess they traded for it. But still, they were not a very good team. I'm going to go cold. But they're not very good. Jalen.
They suck. Terrible. You got to give it, a year or two. Fresh team, new quarterback. A lot of new players, but man, they just suck, dude.
Nick.
Hot seat.
You think he's on it?
Yeah, I do. I don't like what they're doing at all over there.
And what Coach Walk said today, I did see the press conference. He did have one today, and he was talking like if you're a year one, and they were already. He was talking about ownership.
Oh, really?
Like they asked him a question about ownership, what it's like, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I've learned a lot." He was like, "Some owners are really hands on, and some are hands off. Some let you do what you want, and some don't." And he was like, "This owner here in Carolina, he's very hands on." And I don't know if you guys remember when the draft came about. It seemed like him and who's the quarterbacks coach there again? Former player
in Carolina.
Yeah, former player from the Bucs, Josh McCown.
Yes.
Josh McCown. If you guys remember that video of Josh McCown with C.J. Stroud being like, "Hey, when we get you here, we're gonna be hooping. We're gonna like," and there was that video of it. And I think Josh McCown and Frank Reich both wanted C.J. Stroud, and it sounded like ownership came in and said, "No, we're going Bryce Young."
Wow.
So there is a little bit of I think, and that's kind of what that press conference when I kind of thought of it.
You know where my speculation goes to? It goes to Ben Johnson. I wonder if he saw something like that and I was like, yeah, I kind of wanted to stay in Detroit, and maybe he wanted to do it anyway, but he went down the interview process and was like, yeah, I'm going to pass on that.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
He's going to keep his real estate in Michigan, in the Detroit area. And he's going to, when he wants to list it, he can list it with Mark White Real Estate.
Mark White, baby.
Yes,
tell us about it.
Because they have a minute-by-minute listing agreement that is amazing. It's for the sellers to put up whenever they want to cancel their listing agreement for any time, for any reason, with no penalty. You can do that with this Mark White by Associates minute-by-minute listing agreement. If you're looking to buy or sell real estate, visit markwhitesells.com or call 248-290-8242. markwhitesells.com, where flexibility meets success.
Coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Just in time for football!
Glorious!
Cannabis is dropping a new ice water bubble hash infused pre-roll called Honolulu Blue. It smells so good, it's like the whiff of the first playoff win in 31 years. It's a gassy, aggressive strain named in the honor of Detroit football. If you haven't had one of these ice water pre-rolls, you are missing out. So smooth. Find them at Dispo Dispensary for 25% off. Check us out online at www.canna.com.
Glorious! All right, welcome back to Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. My name is Booner, joined with Matthew Broder, Detroit Lions beat reporter. Appreciate you guys all tuning in. If you haven't hit that like button yet, smack it for us. Hit that baby for us. Let's get over 125 before the show is over. And if you guys chew, I would love to hear. I don't know. I didn't really look in the chat here on the break, but if there was anyone else you guys feel like is on the hot seat besides some of the guys that we named, please throw it in there.
Coach Walk said Robert Saleh, but I'm like, I don't think that's fair to call that one. You know,
I talked about Robert Saleh a couple days ago about like if he ends up, but I actually had the thought today to where it was like Aaron Rodgers went down. He ended up getting put in a bad situation. I think that they give him another year no matter what.
It's unfair 100% to me because it's like if he plays, the entire dynamic of that whole city is just flipped.
Oh, I missed one here actually. Ron Rivera. That's a good one.
Peaceful Tim with a banger.
They've won some games though to where, yeah, I guess that's just more of a situation to where you have Bieniemy on the back end, to where Bieniemy is probably going to be the next head coach in Washington, I feel like. So they're just waiting for the right time, and they're waiting for Ron Rivera to make like a major mistake, and then he's out.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. Robert Saleh, that defense, the Jets should still be good. I don't care. I know Zach Wilson's their quarterback, but that's their fault. They got weapons. They got arguably a top 5 receiver in the league, one of the best defense. Maybe not top 5, top 10. Garrett Wilson's legit. They should be better.
Here's another good one. Andrew Jones, Brandon Staley, and then right after Shane Daniel goes, but we don't want Staley in the hot seat.
I think we all assume his seat is scorching hot.
He
doesn't scorch the earth.
He has, but they've kind of turned it around. They've turned it a little bit, and that's why I didn't put him on there. Like, if they lose a big game and it's his fault in the next couple weeks, that's when you start throwing him again on there. Like that playoff game last year, he should have been on that. He was on the hot seat.
Yes.
They had a tough start. Now they're 3-2, and they're back to the Chargers.
Facts.
We play them this year.
We do.
That'd be his last game.
I don't know if might be. No, I don't want to say that actually. I don't want to say that's his last game because then that's Ben Johnson's
first
game.
game.
100%.
So I don't know how I feel about that game.
I don't know, man.
Do I want the Lions to destroy them or just keep it close?
No, destroy them.
Okay. Oh,
that is a statement game because most people pick the Chargers
that's his
to win.
Tryout.
Take their soul.
Ben Johnson's going to probably pull everything out of the playbook in that game.
It's going to get fun.
Oh my gosh.
He's going to snap it through 2 quarterbacks' legs. He's going to bring Hendon Hooker out just to snap it through his legs.
Yeah. All right, here, let's do this real quick. Let's talk some hockey because the hockey does start tomorrow. I don't know is it amateur in the chat? Or the away fan?
Tour.
No, the away fan
is
the away fan. If you're still
also
here.
Dominator. Also Rhett.
Yes, if you guys are
we
still
got
here.
Hockey fans in
we're
here.
Talking a little bit of hockey for the next. I know it's guys going to hate it. 2 or 3 minutes.
RF got the Chappelle line.
But we were going to have
RF,
a full segment of it today, but obviously things didn't work out to have Gentry in. I want to get just a feel around the room here because the Red Wings. I want to get a feel around, and I was going to ask Gentry this.
Feel me, Booner.
I want to feel this season. Is this a playoff year for us? Because I truly believe the Detroit Red Wings are in the playoffs. Someone put in the chat yesterday that they are plus 200 to make the playoffs. I saw a graphic today that they only have a 20% chance to make the playoffs. I think this team does it. Broder, they've gotten their young pieces. Those young pieces have came up the last 2 or 3 seasons. They've played good hockey. And then you know what Steve Yzerman did? He went and got veterans. He did what a team that starts to contend does. They build their young pieces and they go get veterans. They've done that. I'm sitting in the chair that D-Mac sits in every single day. They are going to the playoffs this year. A Booner guarantee. They're going to the playoffs. Broder, am I crazy?
You're not crazy.
Please don't tell me I'm crazy.
You're not crazy, but I do think it's maybe sneak in as that 8 seed, that 7-8 seed.
Yes,
it's tough. Yeah, that
wild card for sure.
It's true. It's tough, and what's kind of holding me back is some of these early decisions that Steve Yzerman is making to put some of the young guys, start them down in Grand Rapids, like it's Berggren, Edvinson, Soderblom. These guys. I think he sees the potential in some of these younger guys, but he's not starting them up at the beginning of the season. I don't think that's because the depth or the guys, the veterans that he has up at the NHL level are enough to take him to a Stanley Cup run. But we'll see how this first month and a half plays out. See where the Red Wings are at, and that may tell us what Steve Yzerman, what his strategy is for the rest of the season.
Is there anyone in this room confident like I am with this Red Wings team? Anyone, please?
You got it, Nick. Go ahead.
Jalen, Nick, or one of you have to be as confident as I am.
Yeah, I'm fired up.
Let's go.
The times are changing in Detroit. Confidence is key. We're gonna make the playoffs. First of all, second of all, the whole holding of the young guys in Grand Rapids, that is kind of questionable to me in my eyes with Edvinson and Berggren.
Yeah,
I really love those two, and the way they came on the back end of last year. I understand they have to prove it and still develop. I just would have rather liked to see it at the NHL
You know
level.
what makes me feel like,
personally,
though?
What, Booner?
That there's depth on this team.
So
that's the reason why those guys are down. There's better players on this team. That means we are taking that next step from last season. And that last season, you were, 6, 7, I don't know how many of the exact numbers. You're 6 or 7 games out back from making the playoff. You're right there. I remember the last month, there's like games where it's like you're on the edge to make the playoffs. You upgraded enough to where some of your young guys that you had high minutes at the end of the year, they're like, Jalen, be with me here, please.
I'm with Broder.
No!
It's really iffy because,
it's going to be a great victory lap for me and Nick.
Our hockey fans in here know how tough our conference is, you know what I mean? But we get hurt a lot. And I feel like if we, stay healthy, we can do it. But if our players do get hurt, the young guys can come up, and do their thing. But it's just real iffy, because we're super young. I love our team now, but it's just our conference is just so hard.
It's real Melifongo.
And I don't want to put that on them, but I mean, we can do it, but we'll slide in there real smooth, like a cha-cha slide, just to the left.
They're gonna make
downtown.
it, and we're gonna it's gonna be like that Florida team last year. But let me tell you guys here real quick. I'm gonna go first, Nick. Here, I'm gonna tell you guys about the Lions Insider Show, Woodward in Maine. Our own show. Matt Broder, he is on the show. It is every Tuesday from 7 to 8 a.m. and Sundays from 8 to 9 a.m. Make sure you guys tune in. I believe this Sunday there's still 8 to 9 a.m. That is hosted by Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, our own, and Detroit legend Terry Foster. Make sure you guys tune into that twice a week. It's Tuesdays 7 to 8 and Sundays 8 to 9 a.m.
And another reason why I'm so confident in this team making the playoffs is because we have Academy Award and hit them with them. But DeBrincat and Larkin, the dynamic duo, I think they're going to feed off each other really well, and we're going to see an offense that we haven't seen in a lot of years, and a goal scorer in DeBrincat that's going to bring it to you. Like Academy Award.
I'm curious.
And at the Academy Award, I forgot I had it. They have a brand new state-of-the-art Sports Dome Fieldhouse. There's a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, and soccer field. Also can be used for 7-on-7 football with grades K through 8 that features AM and PM latchkey, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Houghton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, and K through 8 athletics. They're now accepting new enrollment. Go to the academyofborn.net.
Odin's Raven.
Woodward Sports own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot off the press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel. Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests, for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
All right, Outdoor Equipment Company, let's talk about it. See it right there, OutdoorEquipCo.com. It is Outdoor Equipment Co., the official equipment provider of Woodward Sports. Michigan-grown, family-owned, bad boy mowers, tractors, style handhelds, even weed whippers. If you need trailers, Liberty Trailers, generic generators, Snow X plows, and salters. They have it all. Literally, they have it all. Make sure you guys go check it out. Buy it, rent it. 0% financing, delivery right to your doorstep. That is OutdoorEquipCo.com.
OutdoorEquipCo.com.
All right, welcome back to Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. We appreciate you guys all tuning in here. Make sure you guys hit that like button if you haven't already. Share the stream with someone. We're getting right into it, though. It is mailbag. Let's hit mailbag. First one here. The first one right after I put mailbag in. Rhett Carlson, how do I meet the boys and see the Woodward Sports setup?
Rhett, that's a long drive down from the UP, but you're welcome.
Is that right?
Anytime.
Just DM one of us. I mean, I don't know if you have any of us on Twitter. Just hit us up if you're down. If you're down here from the UP, I didn't know you were in the UP.
Yeah.
If you're down here anytime, just DM us. We'll have you. You can come in for.
Come hang out.
Yeah,
come hang with
you
the
can
boys.
come watch the show on the Maz chair maybe for a little bit too.
Yeah. Also, shout out to Mike Hilton for gifting 2 memberships. I see some people, including Lorena Rios, getting that membership. Mike Hilton, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Mailbag, do you believe that the 49ers are afraid to play the Lions at home? I don't know. Is that at Ford Field? Is that that's Eric Burrow there, by the way?
Let's call it. Let's call it. He was talking about Ford Field.
I don't know if they're scared, but they're not going to think it's a cakewalk.
I don't think the 49ers are scared of anybody, anywhere, at any time. But it'll be a difficult game for them if they come into Ford Field. I think we win that game. Let's go.
I don't think they're scared. I just think it's more so like, hey, we have to respect this team. It would be the same thing if they played the Eagles. You have to have that confidence.
Yeah, Ford Field, he was saying. Yeah, not scared, but they would rather play in San Francisco.
Let's see. Is there another question here?
There might be. Pistons going to hang with the boys. Nicholas Duncan.
Let's go.
Carlson, Lorena Rios. Dude, I love all this. Chat is awesome.
Going to LCA. RF. Yep.
Going to LCA Sunday for the Detroit Pistons. That's their. They have the open practice and open scrimmage, I believe. Then to Detroit Lions watch party. Let's go, RF.
We'll be live this week too, as well.
Mike Hill was raised in the UP too. My grandparents are from Frankfort, Michigan, which is not the UP, but it's up off Crystal Lake near Traverse City. Shout out. Rick Carlson lives in Houghton.
Houghton Lake.
Oh, another one. Shane D gets a membership from Mike Hilton. Ooh, baby. So I'll come up with a question for this weekend. Is there a matchup? And you don't have to go into much detail. Guys, feel free to. In the NFL. Detroit Lions versus Tampa Bay Bucks. Is there an offensive and defensive player matchup that you're interested in?
Oh, actually, yeah. We actually had that in the prep earlier, and I think we skipped over it because we had some things to do. Biggest matchup to me, Mike Evans and Chris Godwin versus secondary.
Wow.
Don't know what it's going to be like. Don't know how healthy Brian Branch. Healthy? Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Those are 2 elite wide receivers.
Yeah.
Elite wide receivers.
I think it makes it that much more important to stop Rashad White. Stop that run game.
Shout out though Jerry Jacobs. I'm on the Jerry Jacobs. Actually, do you have that graphic, the Jerry Jacobs graphic?
Oh, it's about time.
Because shout out to Jerry Jacobs because he actually put out there today and was like, hey, it's either you're with me or you're without me or you're not with me. He said, make up your mind, pick one, and stay where you're at. Jerry. Jerry, listen to me, Jerry. I'm with you, Jerry. I'm on your side. We're with you. Shout out to Jerry. I know we've had everyone even at Woodward said, hey, and Jerry said it. Jerry was like, hey, I need to step up after that Seahawks game. So, and I think everyone said it. I don't think it was more so anyone jumping off that Jerry bandwagon. I think it was more so we expect stuff from Jerry, and he's shown it the last 2 weeks. He's been elite. It's a chore to say Jerry is dialed in right now.
You know who else is elite? IT Hips is elite.
Keep dropping those questions too. Drop some more questions for us.
Sorry I had to miss the show tonight, guys, but I just got back after watching baseball. Make sure to get a like, and I'll be back tomorrow. Thank you so much, IT. Thank you to everybody who's here. JMO loves me. By the way, JMO, sorry to go on a little side, and I can't talk about all the details in the locker room, but he was having a lot of fun with a lot of his teammates today. There were a lot of smiles on their faces, a lot of jokes. It was really good to see him in that element. I haven't seen him much this year because he's been gone, so it was cool to see that side.
Broder, your boy's back, Broder.
Who?
Spill
Dorsey?
the tea.
Rashid's
Spill
back.
the tea.
Hey.
Oh, Rashid. She's back. What's your favorite Kanye West song? Go. Oh, this is one we can go around the room. My favorite one is Through the Wire. One of his very first ones. I don't even know what album it was. If it was on College Dropout or Graduation, but it was when he was in the car accident, had to get his jaw sewn shut. It was one of the first hip hop songs I remember really loving.
Oh man!
And it was before I even found that story. What about you, Jalen?
Ooh, probably. I'll go a little newer. I'll go probably Runaway, like 2010.
Damn, Jay, stealing mine in the booth. That song's a banger.
Broder went about the first album. I'll go, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. So Runaway, that was one of the best pieces of music, art, whatever, put together, written down, whatever we gonna call it, man.
Yeah, Runaway. What about you, Nick?
The whole Life of Pablo album was banging. So anyone from there. I specifically remember it. So.
There it is.
Whole album, baby. Senior year of high school. Let's go. Aging myself on here.
I've got a question for you after, Booner. What do you have a song?
Watch the Throne, the whole album.
Wow.
Just give it to me.
I didn't see that one coming. That's underrated.
That's it. Watch The Throne.
It counts. You're fine.
Elite. I know it's Kanye and
It counts. You're
and
fine.
Jay-Z, but watch The Throne. Don't make me say my favorite song on that album too. Yes, you know what I mean. Jalen? Don't make me.
This is a family show.
That's my favorite song.
By the way, Nicholas Earl, my cousin, used to own that A&W in Frankfurt. She worked there as a server, actually as a bus girl.
Do you guys remember?
Worked her way up to owning it.
Do you guys remember my lock
I'll
last
shut up
week?
now.
My bad, Broder.
No, that's okay. I'll just stop. I'm kidding. I was gonna ask. I know what question.
I can't mess with Broder because he's got the baseball bat. He'll come over here right away. No, do you guys remember my lock last week for the Lions game? JMO end around.
Yes,
you said you were gonna get one.
Whoa, bro.
Yeah, get on my space.
Give me my bubble, man. Lions end around though, I guaranteed it didn't happen. Or JMO end around didn't happen. I can't remember who asked that question. Was it Kalamazoo maybe? I can't remember. Someone asked.
Steve Lehman said over under on a JMO end around this weekend. See,
Yeah,
I was
why I brought that
preparing
up.
to tee you up when you're cutting me off and while I'm getting to know the people.
Oh, you were just talking about A&W, so I say, hey, listen, I'm going to talk about the JMO end around.
Yeah, that's okay. They'll find out more about me in the future, I guess.
Shout out A&W though. All those little what are those? Those freezes that they have?
Root beer float.
Yeah, but the freeze one.
Where
they like mix it. They like mix it up for you. Like they put it in the machine.
Like they do at Dairy Queen.
Dude,
a Melody Freeze of the
elite.
Interlochen.
I'm sure someone in here knows what I'm
Melody
talking about. Someone knows what I'm talking about.
A cooler, maybe.
Oh
There
yes,
we go. The Boston coolers up on Woodward used to snag those.
They like mix like the ice cream within it. It's so good, dude. Yes, the end around. Yes, there will be an end around this week. JMO, let him slowly get back, and now that he's kind of getting that next step, that next feel in the game a little bit, there will be an end round. Wasn't there I think there might have been like a fake one for him, and then they ran.
There's a fake snap through Jared Goff's legs that was
unbelievable.
That involved JMO. JMO, get in position.
Unbelievable. Hey, I appreciate you guys. I think we all appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, Broder's going to hit some bombs when we get off here. Make sure if you guys haven't yet, hit that like button. Leave a comment when the stream's over and share the stream with all of your friends. We'll see you guys tomorrow, 8 to 10 p.m. Don't forget to tune in. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Toodles.
Love you guys.
My G.